All right, y'all. This is gonna be a doozy. This one is going to, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be very expressive with this one. I may even get a little bit passionate. So put ones in the chat if you're ready to hear me get a little passionate about this one. Because if you've been here long enough or you see me on Twitter, you know how I feel about Mr. Girl. Okay? So, one's in the chat for the hype train. Let's go. Wait, wrong song. There we go. Last song. You know what it means? Bless you. You know what it means? Get everything you need. Because I'm ready to go. Just saying. I'm ready to go. Where's the damn song? Right here.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad. Baby, I'm bad.
What is up, everybody? How are y'all doing? Are we doing good? Are we doing good? Are we doing good? How y'all doing? I'm great. Awesome. Awesome. That's good, plants. I'm happy to hear that. I saw Nixon in the chat earlier. Nixon, after I'm done with the interview, if you want to come up, that's absolutely fine. I just wanted to get through the interview alone first. So... now, what I need from y'all is I need everyone to put in the chat, 1, if you know who Mr. Girl is, 2, if you do not know who Mr. Girl is. 1 in the chat, you know who Mr. Girl is. 2 in the chat, you do not know who Mr. Girl is. One, sadly. Yeah. If you do not put a 1 or a 2, I'm ignoring it. Okay. Now, please don't. Please don't. All right. Now, put a 1 in the chat if you know of Mr. Girl's girlfriend. Like, you know who she is. Like, you've seen Mr. Girl's girlfriend. Or you've seen one of the videos. Or you saw the video that I reviewed on him or something. 2, if you have no clue about Mr. Girl's girlfriend. I need to know what I'm working with. Okay. Okay. So, I'm going to give you a little background, and it's a very quick background. I'm not Nicholas Diorio. I can't give you, like, super specifics. But, basically, all in all, because of Destiny's subreddit not liking Mr. Girl, it has ultimately caused Mr. Girl and Destiny to break up. Their friendship, okay? No, they were not dating. You know how we use that term when friends break up too, okay? So don't even go there. But it has caused Destiny and Mr. Girl to break up, okay? Now, Mr. Girl is on this campaign trying to expose Destiny, honestly, for being Destiny. We all know how Destiny is. We all know about how's Destiny's marriage is. It's no secret. It never has been a secret. I don't know what the hell Mr. Girl is doing. Him and this little girl named Lav. She's not really little. She's 24, but compared to me, she's a little girl. This little girl named Lav, they are marching down the streets of the internet trying to cancel Destiny. Now, here's this setup we're about to watch. All right, because I'm going to do this chronologically. So we're going to start with Chud Logic's interview with Mr. Girl's girlfriend. Oh, wait, hold on. Now, Mr. Girl's girlfriend, I think she's a very pretty woman, but I think it's funny how she is interviewing with Chud Logic, and I'm going to tell you why. Remember when, put a 1 in the chat if you remember when I did it through Destiny because the video got taken down, but we reviewed Mr. Girl's video about You're My Real Doll. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember going over that video, You're My Real Doll, and how he talked to her. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember me going through that video. Okay. Now here's the funny part. After that video, Mr. Girl had a talk with Destiny. And Destiny was like, I would really like to talk to Shaelin. Her name is Shaelin. And Mr. Girl was like, no one's allowed to interview her. He wouldn't allow anyone to talk to her. But now, since he's on this crusade to take down Destiny, now she's open up for interviews. Now it's okay. She talks to anybody. She's wide open for interviews now. Now that he wants to take down Destiny. If you know how Mr. Girl talks, and I'm gonna put this at 1.25, by the way. If you know how Mr. Girl talks, and you know what? No, I'm not going to do that to y'all. When y'all listen to this, y'all let me know how y'all feel, because I'm definitely going to let y'all know how I feel. All right? So are we ready for this? Y'all might want to tell Paige that she's... Well, no. I think you're all good. Y'all still give me numbers. Okay. Okay? So, let go.
The side, he now puts the groceries in the cart.
Well, now wait a second. This is dishonest. I mean, I was furious.
Why is it
and
rendering?
I'm still horrified. I'm pretty upset about the way that Stardust has continued to treat the topic. Destiny has set forth a set of values that he claims that he holds, and then is not actually taking actions.
Let me put it on normal first.
Seen, based on what I've seen, based on what you're saying now, that you ever get your own way.
In which I was expected to dress very feminine.
And this is just the intro, but I'm trying to get past it because obviously
essentially view this as him saving me, saving my body from myself. I would say I have moral beef with Destiny.
Okay.
But I also have personal beef with Destiny. If I was a streamer, I would not be particularly trusting towards them. I think people are stupid and think that he's playing a character, and they're wrong.
I'm going to be honest, that last statement for the intro, that's all I need to hear. I'm going to be honest. That's all I need to hear.
Hello, everyone. It's exciting times.
You sound a bit nervous.
I am a bit nervous. I mean, I don't know how many people are watching. I have specifically avoided watching your stream before this.
Okay.
I will say I peeked in a tiny bit, but I was like, I don't want to know exactly what he's saying, and we'll just come in and we'll be...
Nah, Jess, they're still together.
I don't have anything, like, ready to spring on you, per se.
They didn't break up.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what you bring up, and we'll we'll go from there.
Well, I've been going in on you pretty hard for the past 3 hours, so I'm ready. I'm primed. And my audience is primed to hate you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Before we get into anything else, do you want to just introduce yourself?
I put it 1.25, by the way.
Sure. Yes. So I am Shaelin, the elusive queen of demons, mother of horses. I am the one, the only. So.
Okay.
Sad abuse victim, as some may know me.
Well, welcome to Chud. I'm sure we can get to that. But before we do, I've got a very important question that I want to kick things off with, okay?
Okay.
This is probably one of the things that I've seen asked the most. So, Max has previously said that he didn't want you involved in any of this, any of the online space, didn't want you involved, didn't want you to talk to anyone. So, what changed?
Well, my perception of things is that the idea of a streamer's girlfriend starting to stream because people are interested in their relationship or him and wanting to kind of probe into their private life is a somewhat invasive and problematic concept. And I agree with this. I think that my sense of his pushback about this was, one, about not wanting me to make my personality or career about him. And secondly, partially as a protection for me, because streaming is a terrible job that I think affects people's mental health really badly, and including him. So I would say that is my interpretation of his pushback, in addition to just kind of wanting to have his own creative sphere that I am not taking part in, which I...
Okay, so here's my reason why he didn't want it to happen. Girl, but it's okay that he can put up all those videos making you look like a sad victim by the way he's talking to you. It's okay that he puts on these videos that you're talking to him and y'all are talking to each other, and he literally psychologically and emotionally abuses you. But that's okay though. But that's okay. It's okay for him to do those videos, in which one of them I'm going to go off when they get to that point. But it's okay for him to do those videos where he is literally emotionally and psychologically abusing her. Literally. And the last one, she started fucking crying. Just saying.
I think is perfectly reasonable. At the moment, I think I am at a place where I am very fed up with being quiet about this community who have relentlessly talked not just about me, but about people I care about in ways that I find reprehensible. And I have watched probably hundreds of hours at this point of streams and have a lot of thoughts about them, but I don't necessarily want to be a political streamer, so I feel like I've bit my tongue somewhat about these issues, and I am a bit fed up with doing that, but also because I am also now in some ways pursuing my own tangential career of making my own artwork and illustration and comics that are in some ways connected to this because Max is a character. I felt that perhaps saying hello to this community who has been supportive of my work would be a good time for that.
Sure, okay.
That was a bunch of word salad to me. That whole thing was a bunch of word salad. That was, let me tell you what I need to say to me. It literally meant nothing to me. No, Katie. He's using her. And I'll explain in a minute. He's using her.
So it sounds like initially you ceded this decision to Max, essentially. He said it had to be that way, and you went along with it. Is that a fair characterization? Or did you also, contribute to this decision?
Well, the idea...
Why can't she answer that question? Wait, let's go back to that question.
You went along with it? Is that a fair characterization? This decision to Max, essentially. He said it had to be that way, and you went along with it. Is that a fair characterization? Or did you also, contribute to this decision?
Well,
Think of the right answer, honey. Think of the right answer. Why does it take so long for an answer? Paige, I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and say it. And we're only 5 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I feel like he's behind the camera. I swear to God. This looks like she is being held hostage. And I feel like he is behind the camera. Or off to the side. I really do. I really, really do. Not saying that he is, but that's what it looks like. All right, hold on. Let me reload this because this is acting really dumb. So give me 1 second. Maybe it's because of that. All right, let me take that off. All right, let me reload this real quick.
The idea that I was not streaming because Max said so is not accurate.
Okay.
And also somewhat sexist. I've seen these comments and they make me very pissed off. Mm-hmm. I think this is...
Your boyfriend is sexist. Your boyfriend is literally... He's not an Andrew Tate misogynist, but misogyny... A misogynist doesn't just come with one kind of face. Just like racism doesn't come with one kind of face. Mr. Girl is literally one of those that walks around say he's a feminist when in fact he can't be a feminist because he hates women. He has literally a disdain for women and you can tell every time he talks to one. He's not a feminist. He is a huge misogynist. But he likes to play with words. And people fall for his shit.
Assumes that I am trying to be a streamer or wanting
okay, I'm gonna try to do 1.25 again.
Max didn't let me. And I don't think that's what it is. I would say that...
No, honey. We're not worried about you being a streamer. He said that he was not going to allow you to talk to anyone about his fucking video that he did about the real doll. He literally told Destiny that on a stream. And he told Destiny, I may let you talk to Shaelin. I may let you talk to Shaelin. That's what he said. Not you becoming a fucking streamer. You talking about your emotions in that video in which it ended up becoming abusive. Listen, even some commentary dudes, the same dudes that'll throw out a little sexist joke here and there, you know, like a joke, not like real sexism, but just like a little joke, right? Those same guys went from laughing at that video to going, oh, this is bad. This is real bad. Oh, yeah. I'll cut on CC. There you go. They even were like, oh, no, this is bad. They literally went from laughing to going, oh, shit. Inklet, please, somebody tell Inklet she's behind, please.
That, I personally am not terribly comfortable being in the public eye. I have a lot of difficulty at times, like speaking about my thoughts and ideas. I'm more comfortable in writing, as some of you may know from reading my Twit longer and things like that. But as a general rule, I would not say I was trying to be a streamer at the time. And although certainly the idea crosses your mind when your boyfriend is becoming notorious in a community like that, I don't think I was like not doing something that I wanted to do. I didn't particularly want to pursue it.
Okay, so we're saying that this narrative... Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm getting a little bit of myself back in the mic. I don't know if it's coming through the headphones, perhaps.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe it is. I can turn you down a little.
Okay.
I think I can, at least.
If you right-click on me and scroll it to the left, it should turn me down.
Nice. You want to talk and see
okay,
when you can stop hearing yourself?
Test. That's perfect, okay. You still hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. So this conversation around, it's not, your decision, I suppose Max telling you what's what, leads us to a very important point we need to clarify. So, based on a conversation that happened on stream one time, there was a perception spreading around, discussion about whether or not you had a cell phone. So,
oh yeah.
Do you
a
have
motherfucker
your
named
own
Destiny
cell phone?
spread that, didn't he?
No, a motherfucker did not. No. No. Negative. Bitch, know what you're talking about. Okay? And when I say that, I mean that in the most respectful way. All right? It wasn't Destiny who spread that. Your boyfriend said it on Destiny's stream. Have you seen how many people Destiny streams in front of? Your boyfriend said that. Not a motherfucker named Destiny. Your boyfriend, Mr. Girl, said that.
Okay, listen, we don't need to necessarily go down the route of naming other creators right now. We can get to that if we want. But I'm asking you directly, yes or no, do you have a cell phone?
What do you think the answer to this question is, Chud?
Doesn't matter what my perception is. What matters is your response.
Well, it matters to me.
She's doing Mr.
I'm trying to be
Girl.
impartial.
That's the same shit Mr. Girl does. Mr. Girl, okay? When you ask him a question, he can never directly answer. All you gotta say is yes or no. Yes, you have a cell phone. No, you don't. Why are you answering just like him? Why? Why are you answering just like him?
I'm asking the questions that people want. Listen, I need to present the case to the alternative. It doesn't matter what I believe.
Okay. Let me think about whether or not I want to answer this.
Okay.
The premise is so incredibly stupid and sexist that it's enraging.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Timmy T, if you don't like being here, you can leave. Nobody's holding you here. You can go bye-bye. I'll even do it myself for you if you want. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. Oh, wrong button.
I'm going to answer it. I obviously have a cell phone.
Okay.
If you think genuinely that I don't have a cell phone, you're a complete idiot. Let me just say that. I feel that there is no genuine reason to think that. I have my own social media presence. It's actually enraging that anyone thinks this legitimately. And yes, I'm very fucking pissed off at Destiny for suggesting that this rumor might have any merit whatsoever and questioning it as if it was legitimate.
So why aren't you mad at your boyfriend for saying it? Why are you mad at your boyfriend for saying it? I even thought he was being sarcastic when he said it. Because we see you on Twitter. Okay? But why are you not mad at him for saying it? It makes no damn sense.
Fucking insane.
Okay.
Chud?
Listen, what? Well, go on. What is it? You want to say something? Say it.
I'm starting to pen your name on the naughty list. I really am. I'm not a fan that you're asking this question.
Okay. Let me ask you a question then. Okay. Would you expect me to come in? Okay. Obviously, listen. You and I both know, hopefully, that I'm not. Obviously, I don't think you don't have a fucking phone. I'm not retarded. Okay. But this is a big question.
Chud knows.
But this is a big question, and it's obviously partly a meme that I'm asking you. I knew. Listen, we're showing how the sausage is made, and you're ruining it. Okay. Obviously, I'm asking you that, and it's going to create that moment. Okay. But obviously, I think you've got a cell phone, and most people watching do. But it's a meme question. Can you stop fucking ruining it, please? Sorry for getting angry. I apologize. I need to.
No, I can't, Chud. I'm gonna ruin it. If
Why?
I think there's a blatantly sexist premise, I'm gonna fucking ruin it.
Well, if you don't like.
Okay, hold on. The whole sexist shit, shut the hell up, because your misogynist boyfriend is the one who fucking said it. He's the one that fucking said it, but yet you're gonna put it on Destiny? Ma'am. No. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, alright? I think she's in an abusive relationship. I do, alright? Now, from personal experience, when you're in an abusive relationship, and not all abuse is physical. I'm not talking physical abuse, all right? But when they have you up here, you do everything you feel you need to do to survive. And if that means taking on their personality and answering questions the right way according to the partner, that's what you do. Okay? So where I feel that she is programmed to act like this, or she's doing it or on survival instincts, it could be either one. All right? That right there is a Mr. Girl answer. Oh, hold on, excuse me. My producer wants to act like an asshole. Ma'am, I am live right now. What are you doing? Thank you. Jesus. Sorry. Pumpkin wanted to be a little jerk. Okay, so let's continue.
Sexist premises. Oh, these questions you're not going to like these questions. Okay. So.
No, well, I'm just going to yell at you, and I accept this about our relationship, Chud. That sometimes I'm going to yell at you for being sexist.
Okay, excellent.
It wasn't a sexist question, but see, that's something that Max likes to do. Welcome to the Just Saying crew. I have loved the stars too fondly. Whew, that's a name. I'm going to call you I Have. All right. Thank you for joining Just Saying crew. I appreciate it. That's a Max Carson answer right there. That's a Mr. Girl answer. When in doubt, pull out being sexist.
And that's just that.
Okay. Well, initially, I mainly am looking to just ask more generic questions about like your relationship with Max. Appreciate it would be nice to just come on and speak about you, but unfortunately, most people are interested in some of these dynamics. Okay, so maybe another day we can just talk about your art or something. All right. Maybe we can get to it a little bit at the end. 5 minutes at the end. Okay. But one thing I wanted to ask, I think one dynamic that a lot of people perceive is when watching Max's content, it's very difficult to see when Max ends and Mr. Girl begins and vice versa. Do you have that difficulty outside of the videos as well?
No. I think people are stupid and think that he's playing a character, and they're wrong. So,
Okay.
no.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Because to hear how he has been with her in videos, and to hear how he is when he talks to other women, and when they get angry with him, his anger towards other women versus Destiny or any men is different. That's all I need to know. I'm going to tell y'all my theory right now. I think he hides behind the pedophilic shit. I think that is actually a ruse. I do. I think that's actually fake because people hone in on that and they don't even recognize the abusive, emotional, and psychological behavior that he has. They hone in on the fact of how he'll talk about a 12-year-old girl's panties, or would you be turned on by a 16-year-old? They concentrate on that stuff. I think he's hiding in plain sight of being an abuser towards women. Yes, he's scared of men. I honestly think because he got fame off of that Cuties review, and that Cuties review, if you go back and watch it, okay, whether through somebody else because his channel's gone, if you go back and watch it, you can tell it's over the top and it's for shock value. It's bullshit. He's hiding in plain sight because most people are going to concentrate on the kid shit over him being abusive psychologically and emotionally towards women. I really, really believe that. I do. Now, if it comes out that he has messed with kids, okay, then I'll take that as in, all right, well, he did say it. I could have got that part wrong. All right. I'm not counting it out 100% because it's still a theory at this point. But my theory is he's hiding in plain sight. because most people will concentrate on the kids more than they will concentrate on the women. I really do.
No, I just think of him as Max, and that's it.
So you're telling me then that what we see in the videos, it's not a character. There's no kind of excess presentation.
Exactly,
That is what Max
YouTube
is.
made
You're
it great
seeing
again.
true
You're
raw Max that
exactly
you see in
right.
these-
YouTube made it great. Okay, I'm just gonna call you YouTube. Okay, congratulations, you got the name of the place we're on. YouTube says he already was out in the open. He made a video about raping and beating on a woman. Exactly. But no one ever fucking concentrates on that. They concentrate on the cuties review and the crazy shit he says about kids in streams. Yes.
It's off camera too.
Yes. I mean, obviously there's like certain videos where like he maybe is like, say in the I'm a Pedophile music video, like obviously we were creating staged situations for the video, but I don't think that that's like hard to discern. I think people think that when he gets bombastic, if you will, as he likes to say, that he doesn't actually express himself this way in real life, but he does.
I'm going to be honest with you, Leon. I don't know if she looks like him, but she sure does have a lot of habits of his, the way that she's even kind of sitting, but definitely the way she's talking is a lot like him.
I think that the positions he holds are very consistent, and like sometimes he might say like a joke or something, but no, I would say generally speaking, no, there's no character, and I think it's pretty obvious when he's like making a joke or if something is staged for a particular like more theatrical video.
But wait a second. You're saying that there is a theatrical element to what's happening. So surely if he's being theatrical in some way, that isn't Max, that's Mr. Girl.
Like in a music video?
Or say the
No,
Real
I
Doll
would just
review or
say-
any other piece of content, a content where he's engaging with you that isn't a vlog that's planned out and has been recorded. That's all Max. There's no kind of theatrical element in that. Have I got that right?
No. Yeah, no. All of the interactions that he and I have, any conversations, any fights, none of that is staged. That's all real.
Okay.
Then, girl, you're in an abusive relationship. I have seen enough videos between you and him. I can honestly, if you are saying it's real, he already told Nicholas DiOrio it was real, and that's really him. And now you're saying that's really him, and those conversations are real. Girl, that means you're in an emotional and psychological abusive relationship, at the least. Because I have seen enough videos of you and him together and the way he has talked to you and the way he twists shit on you. And you either end up being very upset, you end up crying, you are in an abusive relationship. Because not only has he now confirmed that's really him, but now you're confirming those conversations were real. I can honestly say I believe they are in an abusive relationship.
I just mean that, like, obviously in the Hi Cuties music video, we're like renting out a space and creating like an atmosphere and stuff like that. It's not like we're just casually standing in an empty movie theater. Like, obviously that's staged, if you will, but I don't think that comes off as not staged.
Well, if that's the case, I'm a bit confused about something, because when you engage with Max's content that features you, often it features some of the dark, what I would perceive to be at least very dark moments of your relationship, arguments, fights, difficulties that seemingly are created by Max's desire to make, like, say, a sex doll review. But then when you look at your art, there's a very flowery, positive representation of your relationship that, in my opinion, you just do not see in the content of Max. So what's the reason for this dichotomy if genuinely what we're seeing in the videos is all Max?
This is a good question. I'm a fan of this, Chud. Yeah, so I think one thing to keep in mind is that
Hold on,
you're
Katie,
not
because I'm going to answer
everything
that.
about a relationship from one person's perspective, regardless of what they're sharing. Given the scope of the work that Max and I do, we take pretty different
Welcome to Chud
approaches when we
Nation.
talk about our relationship. In some ways, I think that my comic is somewhat of a response to people insisting that I'm abused all the time. I don't see our relationship as being one or the other.
Okay, you notice how she says, let's go back for a second. All right. in somewhat of a response to people insisting that
Abused all the time.
I'm abused all the time. You don't have to be abused all the time to be in an abusive relationship. She's doing the Max thing where she's playing with fucking words. That's what she's doing. Now, Katie, you had something to say. Okay. Katie says, viewer believed him when he said he was real, but for some reason, some of these big YouTubers still had them on their stream. Shake my head. Okay, one, it doesn't bother me who has who on their streams, all right? I don't believe in that. Listen, y'all know I can't stand Andrew Tate, right? But if somebody wanted to put Andrew Tate on their stream, I'm not going to get mad at them for that, all right? One, it's content. Two, he's a controversial figure. Three, it's going to bring in, that's fine. That's our job, okay? I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. But I think a lot of people could not it's that whole thing of concentrating on the kids, not concentrating on how he was with women. His shit is so outlandish with what he says about children. That's what, if you notice, that's what everybody always wants to talk to Mr. Girl about, how he is about kids. Very few people even mention or want to talk to him about how he always tends to act with women. That's why I'm saying he's hiding in plain sight. I have been saying he's hiding in plain fucking sight. So yeah, no, that was a good statement. And let me tell you something, not all the viewers, his horsies or whoever the fuck he called his viewers, they fell for that shit so hard. And he made it normal to be able to talk to people like that. Where they think it's okay to be like that. It's crazy. It's sick. Dark Magician, in my opinion, he's trying to use pedophilia to hide his toxic misogyny. Yes.
I don't see our relationship as being one or the other. I think, although it may be somewhat difficult to see both sides, I think our relationship encompasses a lot of moments on sort of both ends of the spectrum. And I think that Max's work focuses on, as you said, revealing maybe some of the darker, more uncomfortable parts of the relationship. And my work, at least the comic, does not focus on that primarily. And I've considered whether or not to incorporate some of our fights. The main problem I think I encounter is that it's difficult to represent the conflicts in these sort of short, punchy formats that I write for the comic.
No, it's not. I've seen your comic. I've seen your art. You're very, very talented. It's not hard. What you're putting out there, and this is my own personal belief, so this is allegedly for entertainment purposes only, what you put out there is how you wish it was. Because I don't think he would like very much if you did art on how he really was. Because then he doesn't have control over it. Just saying. She's very smart and she's very talented. Very talented.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I understand where you're coming from, but I guess the issue for me then would be, you know, why is it that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've not seen every single second of footage, okay? But my perception, certainly based on what I've seen, is that there doesn't really seem to be any of these light moments that you're talking about in your comics in the video. And if you're saying what we're getting is Max, then why is it that all of the content seems so dour and dark and depressing in the dark moments? Where's the light?
True.
Well, that's what he's making.
But you're saying to me Max is actually represented there, and that's Max. But all we see in the videos is Max being a fucking dickhead, to put it bluntly. Okay?
Yes.
To you. right? So
Well-
why are we not seeing the positive moments captured on video if it's a genuine reflection of what Max is? That's quite damning for Max. If what we're seeing is truly who he is, then that's quite
Well,
damning.
no,
And all we got is your comics to
exactly.
counteract that.
Oh, wait a second. Because you're suggesting that his personality should be condensed to the content of a video he intentionally made to show the dark parts of our relationship. But just because this video is only talking about this particular aspect of our relationship doesn't mean his personality is fully encompassed in that specific moment. I just feel like that's a gross simplification of anybody's personality to condense them down into a video that's specifically talking about one thing.
Okay. Okay. All right. Ma'am. Do you not realize he not only tells on himself in his videos with you, but he also tells on himself on how he is when he's on panel with women or when he's in an interview with a woman and when he gets mad at her versus when he gets mad at a man. Max, as smart of a man he is, because I do believe he's intelligent, as smart as a man he is, he's dumb as a box of rocks at the same time. He's so smart, he doesn't even realize when he slips up. He's so smart, he thinks people are too dumb to pick up on it.
Like, do you think your personality, the only thing about it is like semi-ironic sexism? I don't think so.
Well, is that the only thing represented in my content? Also, who's asking the questions here?
Me, bitch. No, but I just think it's a simplification. Like, it's true what he's representing, that we have fights that are like this. I'm not trying to say that these fights are in some way good or a prescription for people's relationships, but like that's not the point of the fucking art. I don't know why people are trying to extrapolate this out to the full extent and duration of our relationship. I will admit that we probably fight more than a lot of couples because other people are somewhat conflict avoidant, including me, and Max is not. But I think that, like, you think our relationship is 100% these fights?
Nobody said the relationship was 100% those fights. Stop playing word games. I almost feel like with this damn interview, and Jesus Christ, we're only in 18 minutes in. I feel like Plants for 5. Okay, I love Xylie Vape Arc. Also, I've been looking forward to this stream. I had no idea what I was in for.
I think
it's
Xylie
crazy. Thank you,
looked at
Plants.
chat on that one.
Okay, I feel like at one point she has this little piece of paper that she's just gonna slip the Chud Logic saying help me. Because she is talking Mr. Girl word salad talking points. She has already rationalized to herself. Yeah, because he rationalized it to her.
No, of course not. Of course not. No, I don't think it's 100% those fights. It just
Well,
seems...
yeah, but just if
go on.
someone expresses themselves in a fight in a certain way, like that's just not the totality of their personhood.
Nobody said it was. Nobody has said that y'all have never had sweet moments. Apparently you did. You're still with him. Hell, my abuser for 6 years, we still had sweet moments. But that doesn't negate the abuse I took for 6 years. That doesn't negate that. The sweet moments don't negate the bad. Nobody is saying that he's talking to you like that 100% of the time. What you're doing is you're trying to make it a total thing. You're saying he doesn't abuse me all the time. He is not like that 100% of the time. No one is saying that, honey. No one. No one is saying that.
And I mean, I'm not even sure which conversation you're referring to, but no, I think that's stupid.
Okay. So this is a broader question, and it doesn't have to be a piece of content that you're featured in. It could be any piece of content. But what, if any, piece of content of Mr. Girls makes you feel the most uncomfortable?
Little girl, stop. Answer the question.
Like the take that he has in the video, or like because of me or my involvement?
Okay, well, let's split it out that way. What's Max's take? It could be in a video or stated on stream, whatever. What's Max's take that makes you feel most uncomfortable?
I don't know if it's a take, but I get very uncomfortable when Max like insults people a lot. I think there are times when I can see someone reacting in ways that I have also reacted, and if they're not able to like set boundaries strongly, I get like uncomfortable with that. I think Max is very confident in himself and very confident in his own abilities to set boundaries with others. But I think a lot of people don't have those skills, and so it can be hard sometimes if he is not playing the role of managing them and their personality. So I get upset when he starts to kind of like go in at someone and insult them too. Okay. I think that's, for me, for the content I've been in, I think that's why some of those early fights during the Corona Vlog videos were also a bit uncomfortable for me to go back.
Where he actually said he hated women. And he said, and he literally said, and I quote, "Do you know what the definition of gaslighting is?" Oh God, now I forgot it. He goes, "Do you know what the definition of gaslighting is? It's like women." Basically saying that women do nothing but gaslighting. This is when they were driving down the street and he was having a fit with her in their car. I remember that video. He hates women. He literally admitted he hates women. But he's such a feminist, though. Whoever believes he is a feminist, I'm sorry, I hate to tell you, you're dumb and you don't know how to look for signs. And that includes Lav and any of the other horsies out there who is his viewership. You're dumb if you think he's a feminist. That goes for everyone who thinks he's a feminist. You're dumb. And if this cat don't stop, I'm going to ship her off. Pumpkin, stop it. Hold on. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Come here. Okay, you're going to fly. Yeah. All right, go there. Lay down. Lay down, ma'am. Ma'am, lay down. All right.
Can watch. At the time, I was pretty upset about them too. I think the concept of it is really brilliant, but I did struggle with the vulnerability of that. And it is hard to be told dozens of times a day that you're being abused and feel like you believe in an idea enough to put yourself out there and then have a bunch of people shit on you and tell you you're too stupid or like to if you're misunderstanding what's happening and can't actually consent to things.
But you're the one saying that's really him. And what he's showing in those videos is him being abusive towards you. You're saying that's him. So how are you getting mad at people for showing? You should be mad at him because he's making you look weak as fuck. And that's sad. You should be mad at him for that shit. Thank you, Niall. You should be mad at him. And you know what? Deep down inside, honey, you may be. Because again, I know how it is to be in a relationship like that. And I know sometimes you got to do and say shit that you never would. I did things in my past relationship that I deeply regret. And I would never do that outside of that. Nani's Moose, $5. When she paused to answer that question, I thought you pause it, scold your animal. Niall gifted 10. Xylie Get Real memberships. Thank you for the gifted subs. Holla. The Oprah of gifted subs. Niall, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, let's go.
So it's a pretty annoying thing to have happen.
Okay. So.
But yes, I get offended
welcome
too.
to Chud Nation.
The audience is not the only one. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, this actually leads perfectly onto this line of discussion, so we'll go down it now. I was planning to bring it out a bit later, but let's go there. So I noted in one of your videos, believe one of the vlogs, or maybe the Field Dog review. Anyway, you think abuse is subjective, correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So I guess my question would be, how many people need to call something abuse before we should consider it abuse?
I think Xylie looked at chat on that one.
Well, I think that
when she paused. Oh, I already. Okay. All right.
I don't know. I guess it depends on what you're trying to do, or like what the people think should be done about it, I guess. I mean, the main thing I would say is if the person who is experiencing the abuse or whatever wants to be in the situation, I don't think there is much you can do.
It's okay, Fatina.
Depending on the severity. I mean, if someone's getting like beat to shit, yes, someone should intervene.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess I feel like this is I see the path we're going down here. And like, I see what you're saying. I don't think if someone, okay, let's put it this way. If someone thinks that I'm being abused,
to Chud Nation.
I think that's a perfectly fine thing to say. I think if you see something that you think is mistreatment of another human being, it is understandable and even encourageable to say something about it. I think if someone thinks that you personally are being abused, then you should listen to them. The thing I can't fucking stand, though, is that people want to fucking come at my relationship and say it's abusive, and they can't actually even articulate what they mean, so if I push back on it at all, people just freak out. And I'm not even just talking about the audience. Like, yes, I've read your stupid comments, but I'm talking about people in my personal life who have come to me with concerns, but their approach doesn't actually make sense to being supportive of me if it is the case that I'm being abused.
Someone please make me understand this, okay? She has literally said that those videos are real. Those videos are literally abusive. So I need someone to make me understand how people are wrong for thinking she's being abused. Someone please make me understand that. You see how she's spinning shit? Just like he does. She's spinning. On one hand, those videos are real, okay? Those videos are real. That is really him and her talking. He does not play a character. That is really him. But I'm not being abused. They don't equal out to each other. They don't equal out to each other. Someone explain it to me. Just explain it to me. I don't get it. I'm not gonna, okay, Mari, I'm not gonna say that. Xylie, she's playing a game. She's putting up with this because she's trying to become a big artist, so she uses him as a character, so she needs this relationship. No, I do not agree with that. Because again, when you're in a, okay, I can't say that for sure, and this is why, and I'm gonna repeat this again, and I'm gonna continue to repeat this for the 2 hours it takes to watch this fucking video, okay? When you're in an abusive relationship, you do things, you say things out of survival instinct. or you have been roped in the head so much that you actually start to believe it. I'm telling you, as a person who dealt with a 6-year relationship like that, I did and said things and thought in a way that I never would have before that relationship and have it since that relationship. Once they get you in here, you change. You are not your own person anymore. Nixon for 5. Max does what he says Destiny does in regards to power over others. Projection 101.
I think Xylie looked at Chad on
Pumpkin,
that
stop it. I am not in the mood for you trying to play with the fucking mouse. Ma'am, lay down here.
So, like, you have to, if you're going to come to somebody and tell them that they're being abused, I think you have to be prepared to have a difficult conversation with that person. And that if someone pushes back about the idea of being abused, I think you have to be prepared to, like, explain your position at the very least, and also be empathetic towards them. And most people just can't do that. So.
Okay. So I guess my question would be, because you mentioned if someone's being beaten, perhaps that's different. So does this also apply with that as well? For example, if someone was clearly being beaten, had signs of physical abuse, would you still expect people to go up and be prepared to have a conversation? Or do you think maybe because there's maybe more evidence, you might be able to circumvent that?
No, I feel like the thing with physical abuse is that you can see it pretty clearly. I think that because you can witness it in a different way, you can intervene, and it would make sense to me to do so. I think with emotional abuse, which I believe is what people accuse Max of doing with me, it's a bit more complex and a bit more perhaps elusive.
Yeah, because you
even
can't
though
see
someone
it.
can point to something in the video, I have a different perspective of what's happening than they might. So,
Baby girl, you're in the middle of it. Of course you do.
so yeah, again, I think I accept the idea that people will perhaps think it's abusive, and I think that that's fine, and it's good even for people to talk about it and whether or not it is. As I said, I don't think that us making these videos is a prescription for other people's relationships, and I don't, I think you should speak up if you think something is abuse. I think Max would agree.
So...
But yet he shows his abuse. Is he so sick that he doesn't see that as being abusive to you online? Is that what it is? That he's so sick here that he doesn't realize he's literally showing abuse? Is he so sick that he literally doesn't realize that he's showing how he acts towards women when it's not you? He tells on himself every fucking time he has a conversation with a woman. He does. Oh, it's a show that he does. She's in his studio, Leon.
You seem frustrated by some of the scrutiny that your relationship receives, but do you not think that that scrutiny is like largely invited when such provocative content is being made about your relationship?
No, I think it's invited, sure. I think the thing that makes me angry is when people are not thoughtful about what they think we're doing or making. I think if people are like, this really disturbs me, and I feel concerned that it's abuse, that's different from being like, this guy is broadcasting his abuse, he thinks he's so smart, or he thinks he's so whatever. Like, I don't know, I just feel like there's some different tones that some of these comments take, and that is the thing that pisses me off. I feel like Max and I are both thinking about why we're making these videos, and I think that there's at times an assumption that we don't know that it looks bad or something. So I guess what pisses me off is when people imply or directly say that I am stupid for being part of the video or the relationship.
Okay, people saying that she's stupid, I actually agree with her on that. It's like people saying I was stupid for staying in my relationship for so long. It has nothing to do with intelligence whatsoever. It has absolutely nothing to do with intelligence. It's got to do whether they got you trapped up in here or not. Because that's where they get you first.
I think that to me speaks to a level of not understanding what we're doing. But even if you don't understand what we're doing, that's okay. If you want to understand what we're doing, that's also fine. And I am, for the most part, willing to speak with at least people in my personal life about that. But I think this type of work creates conversations around abuse and relationships that I think are important. So I guess I just don't get the dismissal part.
So this type of work,
I think this type of work creates conversations around abuse and relationships.
this type of work creates conversations around abuse from relationships. What does that mean? They know it's abusive what he's doing. If it creates conversations about abuse, that means you should have shown abuse.
That I think are important. So I guess I just don't get the dismissal part.
So I guess one thing with this, though, is that there are some people that are in physically abusive relationships that a lot of people will look at and say that's physically abusive, but the people involved are happy with what's happening. So, does that not give them a right to continue on with their relationship, even if there's, say, physical abuse happening, if they're happy with it, by your logic?
I mean, okay. You're saying if I just know, because someone told me that someone's in a physically abusive relationship, what should be done, essentially? Or should people somehow intervene?
This is the fundamental issue, is with physically abusive relationships, generally speaking, there are provisions in place where people are able to easily seek help in those situations. But emotionally abusive relationships are both harder to detect and harder to deal with because there isn't an action necessarily that will lead to like state intervention or something like that.
Exactly.
Obviously with children it's different because there are entities that deal with even emotional abuse of children. But with adults, we don't have the same thing. So someone could be getting emotionally abused, and if they're not putting their hand up, there's never going to be the same physicality that would lead to intervention in like domestic violence, right? Mm-hmm. And it sounds like your logic is, well, if we're happy with it, even though a lot of other people are saying it's not okay, well, you could probably apply this logic to physically abusive relationships too, even though you're giving provisions that say physically abusive relationships are different, if they're okay with what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like when she does that, when she goes, I feel like she's going through her Rolodex. How would Max answer this? How would Max answer this? How would Max answer this? Yes, Kat, she is. I really do. I feel like she's going through her Rolodex of how would Max answer this?
Understand what you're trying to get at. And I would probably say I'm not sure. Obviously, people have autonomy. If you are getting beaten,
they've been together longer than 2 years.
Relationship where you're getting beat up, and I think if someone witnesses you getting beat up, absolutely they should get involved and get you out of the situation. I agree that with emotional abuse, because it's not quite like that, should there be like more guardrails in place for that? Maybe. I feel like off the top of my head, I can't really think of any other guardrails besides people talking about it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's sort of the argument for like consent, non-consent in certain ways, or like BDSM, right?
Here's the issue, right?
No. I don't agree with that.
If I watched a video of a man beating the shit out of a woman because she didn't make dinner hot enough, okay, it's a bit soy, I know, but I would call that abuse, okay? Right?
Right.
Now, I think there's people that are watching your interactions with Max, right? And they are seeing it in the same way. They're seeing it, obviously not domestic violence like that, but they're seeing it as abuse in the same way. And it's as plain as them as it would be to you, someone getting beaten up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
And the person...
Especially with people who's been through it before. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. We see it plain as day because we have been through it. I agree with you, Plant.
The person in that situation may not realize they're being abused. They may even reject the concept as you have.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's perception is that of your relationship, that's in many ways just as valid as your interpretation of someone engaging in physical violence. Do you see what I mean?
I do.
Okay.
And that's what I mean, yeah, my perception is if you see something in our relationship that you wouldn't want in your own relationship, that's good. Good for you. I don't know. I guess this brings up the question of like, if someone sees this and they think this is abusive, what should they do? if you see physical abuse, you typically would do something, either break up a fight, call the police, whatever you're thinking, right? But also, I think the questions around emotional abuse, I think, are what exactly do you perceive as being abusive in the situation? And this is typically where, when I talk with people about this, they get stuck because, like, what do you think is abusive about it? Someone's yelling?
Okay, so
Like,
there. Sure.
I just want to throw my headset at this point. Like, I literally just want to pick something up and throw it. I really do. I just want to pick something up and throw it. It's sad. This is so fucking sad. It's so sad, it makes me angry. Sometimes, okay, but again, willing participant. Okay, here's the thing. If she is absolutely okay with everything that's going on, all right? She understands what it is. Maybe it's consent, non-consent, whatever, all right? The messaging that is put through in those fucking videos that it is okay to talk to your fucking partner like that is still the wrong message. It is. Go watch a Mr. Girl video with him talking to his girlfriend. That is not how you talk to your partner. Period. Point blank, period. I'm not going to throw the cat. No, I'm not going to pull in the Lindy. I will not be throwing any cats, okay? And she's actually sleeping here like a good girl. Yeah, I'm not putting this on members only. This is a regular stream. And that's another thing, too. What did you do? Stop pushing the mouse. And just because, and that's true, Cats. What Cats just said is right. That's not true. Just because she hasn't left doesn't mean she's enjoying the abuse. For fuck's sakes, it's meant she's trapped. There could be several reasons why she's still in there. There may be several reasons why. It could be everything from she enjoys it all the way to she feels trapped in her mind. And it could be somewhere in the middle. Because sometimes your head gets so fucked up, you don't know up, down, sideways, or any direction. You don't know anything. Okay? It could be a variety of reasons from liking it all the way to she's just surviving. And it could be somewhere in the middle. For anyone to say that she is enjoying this and you act like you know this for a fact, you're wrong. She could at least own that it's abusive. Moonhag. Here's my question to that. Why would she own it if he's right there? Why would she own it if he would watch this interview? Why would you do that? You know how many times I had a bruise on my face and I was like, I just fell? You know how many years I didn't own my abuse? You know how many times I lied to people? With a smile on my face? Knowing that they heard me getting my ass whipped next door? Next day, smiling in their face like nothing happened. So, I mean... all I can say is, that shit's abusive that he does in those videos. Rue and Leon, you better take care of that.
There are definitely some things which I think people attribute to abuse, which can happen in normal relationships, like yelling, okay? And the thing is, because, just a spoiler alert, I agree, abuse is, of course, subjective and contextual, right? There are some examples where a partner could physically strike another partner, and it's not abuse. BDSM, for example. But people will immediately think, oh, that's definitely a sign of abuse, where it could be consensual, right? So the point is, yes, even stuff like that can be consensual, and it can be contextually dependent, right? But yeah, when it comes to kind of what we're talking about here, like I say, there's no kind of action that can be taken between you two. I mean, so for example, right, when you're on stream and you're shouting, that can be a normal relationship, right? Definitely. Okay, and there's no scientific way of determining what exactly is abuse. It's all contextual. But there's certainly things that I think people observe in the content that go above just shouting, which people often point to as in a normal relationship, right? So as an example, embarrassing your partner in front of others is a sign of abuse that I think is not common to many relationships. And I think it's common that someone would embarrass their partner in front of others. That to me,
that's
would
what
normally
he
be indicative
does
of
to
a more
her
clear
in
sign
the
of, like, an
videos.
abusive dynamic.
That's what he
And there are
does to her in the
examples where
videos.
you have said in a video, I'm not comfortable, I don't want to keep talking, I don't want this in the video. You've even requested that something doesn't go into the video.
And it's
yet,
still there.
There it is. You were in the video, we were watching, you saying it. So how do you explain that?
Okay, so you're talking about the doll review now?
Sure.
Okay. So I would not categorize what Max does as embarrassing me in front of others. I think there are times when I feel embarrassed, but I don't think that he is intentionally embarrassing me or doing things to embarrass me. So I personally don't feel this way, but I understand what you're saying. So specifically on the doll review, I would say that when I said I don't want to be part of the interview anymore, my internal experience of it is that I was getting overwhelmed with the conversation and didn't want him to push back on me.
He laughed at you. He laughed at you. When you walked away, he laughed at you in that video.
And I say this, and we continue talking sort of under the assumption that he's not going to use this anymore. So I understand that it looks completely insane and terrible. That being said, my thoughts about this are that because I was getting emotional and I didn't want to be in that position in the moment, I said I didn't want to be in it, but having resolved it, I didn't feel that way anymore. So I get the confusion. I get feeling like he put it in against my will because I say it in there, but I don't feel that way because I told him he could use it after the fact, and I don't know.
But that wasn't
So I
made
guess-
clear in the video, was it? We don't know that watching that you consented later for that to be in the video.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
But I guess this is like one of my issues, is that, you
I
know...
feel like it's provocative framing or something.
Well, listen, provocative is fine, but if you're going to be controversial, you're going to court controversy. I find it frustrating that you will court controversy, Max will court controversy by doing stuff like this, and then it's not made clear, and then there's a frustration that he gets leveled as being an abuser, or there's a scrutiny there, and it's like, it looks like you have said, I don't want this in the video, and then he's put it in the video against your consent. So,
Yep.
Yes, there's going to be scrutiny.
Especially after he laughed at your ass when you were crying in the other room. Just saying.
Yes, there's going to be shitty comments. If you don't want the controversy, don't be controversial. Seems pretty straightforward to me.
Well,
Dow Happy, I'm not going down hard. I'm not coming down hard on her. What are you talking about? I don't even know who you are. But no, I'm not coming down hard on her. I'm saying she's in an abusive relationship. And I think Chud has the right takes. Toots McGee for 5. I wish so much
I
that
think
someone
Xylie
could get
looked
through
at
to
chat on
her.
that one.
It's like she can't... Listen, it's like somebody who's on drugs, okay? Or an alcoholic, all right? Or even smoking cigarettes. Being in an abusive relationship is the exact same way. You're not going to leave that relationship until you're ready. With mine, I got to the point, I didn't care anymore. I started shit with him on purpose. Because I got to the point, I didn't give a shit anymore. And then I left. Where before, I was walking on eggshells. You do not leave an abusive relationship just like you don't quit drugs, you don't quit drinking, you don't even quit smoking cigarettes until you're ready. It's not like, once you get trapped here, it's not like you just up and go. No, that's not how that works. I'm not saying that you aren't I just said I don't know who you are, and I'm not coming down hard on her, so okay.
What do you mean by if you don't want the controversy? Like, you're saying because I think that people are stupid for thinking this, or because
Well, you
I said
voiced
I'm
the
annoyed by the
frustration.
comments?
You voiced the frustration at comments that you're getting, but then the comments in some cases are going to be happening because you do something, like you don't make it clear that you actually consented for that to go in the video. So of course people are going to make comments that are going to piss you off.
Yeah, I don't expect them to not make comments that are gonna piss me off. I'm just pissed off about it.
Okay.
I get what you're saying though, and I think that it's like, from my perspective, I can see both sides, but I also have my perspective. The thing that bugs me is when people are saying or speaking on my behalf or saying what they think I'm feeling, and I don't agree with that. And then I feel as if, because I'm not a political streamer and I am not coming on streams after all of these.
Okay, quit the political. I mean, I understand that's where Max hangs out in the political sphere, but this shit that he's talking about right now has nothing to do with political streaming. It's got to do with being a human. No one knows what's going through your mind. No one knows why you're still sane. No one knows why you put up with the shit that you put up with. There could be a plethora of reasons. Hell, you might even like it. The only thing I can say for a fact is that he has told people he is real and that is really him. You have confirmed it in this interview with Chud. You have also confirmed that the conversations you have had with him in those videos were real. And I'm telling you, when I've watched those videos with you and him, he was being abusive. That is the only thing I can say for a fact. I cannot say for a fact why she's staying, how she feels about it, or anything. The only thing I can tell you for a fact is those fucking conversations that he had with her in those videos were abusive.
Videos to talk about my perspective, that people can just perpetuate all of these narratives on my behalf that I don't identify with. And many of them are specifically, I think, somewhat sexist in the sense that I don't necessarily think that if I was a man, the reaction would be quite as strong as this.
For me, it would be. If those videos were reversed, and that was a woman talking to her boyfriend that way, I personally would have the same issues. Abuse is abuse. It doesn't matter how the partnership is mixed up. 2 men, 2 women, man, woman, it doesn't matter. Abuse is abuse. I don't care about the makeup of the relationship. I don't care. I don't care about the makeup of the relationship. And anybody who does care about the makeup of the relationship, that's their issue. Because women can abuse men too. Just saying.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Can you think of a content creator that is a woman that features a man in a content the way that you're featured in Max's content? As a sort of side character. Okay, well.
No.
Well, then if, maybe that exists. I don't want to of course that could exist. I'm not familiar with that. So the point there is that this dynamic exists, not just based on gender, but it seems like this is the only example I can really think of this happening in this way. Like, in all honesty, and this is a testament to Max's creativity, I guess, I can't think of anyone that would fuck a sex doll. Or, by the way, I watched that full video unedited for preparing for this, okay? So
I appreciate that, Chud. I do.
Yeah, and to be blunt, I obviously don't want to delve into your sex life or anything like that, but to be blunt, I'll speak on what I saw. There's a moment where Max is with the sex doll jerking off, and you walk in. I cannot think of any other content creator that would do that sort of thing, and especially not a woman masturbating when a man walks in, unless there's some sort of explicit pornographic purpose there. Can you?
No, I can't.
Okay.
And that's what makes Max so great.
No, I see.
That his oh my God. What Chud said, that's what Mr. Girl's audience that love him. Oh my God, but that's what makes Max so great. He makes you think, no. Negative.
I see your point there. I'm not saying that there is a comparable content creator. Absolutely not. No one's like Max. But no, I'm saying that in the sense that, and I argued this in my Reddit post about the sex doll review. If I, as a woman, were to ask Max to lie still for my sexual gratification, essentially, I don't think that the pushback would be quite as strong. I think a lot of the reactions to the doll review, because people...
Cassette, I know. We're going to go over that at a later time. Thank you.
People have said that the doll review is more abusive than the earlier fights that we showed in our coronavirus vlog. I do not agree at all about that. And I believe the reason they think this is because they are confused and got distressed by the idea of him asking me to essentially lie still like a doll.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it was worse than the Rona vlogs. I don't think it was worse. I think it was just as equally bad. I don't think it was worse at all. I think it was just as equally bad as the Rona vlogs. People like Max are why I quit art school. Don't let anybody make you quit art school. What? Don't let people do that. Go back. Go back, Meowser.
But I don't, like, if I were to ask him that, absolutely not. I do not think that, like, maybe a couple people would find it objectionable if they, like, are anti-sex or something. But I think, generally speaking, the sentiment would absolutely not be that he was being abused, that me asking him was abuse, or any of the above. I view that fight as being about how to talk when we were on camera, which we didn't agree about, which is why I ended up crying, because I wanted to continue to make videos together. But we have not come to a conclusion about that.
Well, I mean, this is something else I wanted to get into, but it seems like the perfect time to ask. One of Max's biggest issues with you, based on the content, is that you have difficulty setting boundaries. So why is it after all this time you still struggle to do so?
Trauma, Chud. I'm, like, not learning how to do it until, like, the last couple years I've been in therapy. I don't know. I feel like it's a hard skill to learn. There are times when I can set them more easily, perhaps. But for some people, I don't know. It's not modeled. They have a lot of fear. Maybe they're codependent. That's my issue. And, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot, it's just, like, the psychological landscape that people have generally. But especially women. I think it's much harder for women. We're not, I don't think, as encouraged to do so. So, like, yeah, you have to learn as an adult if you didn't learn before. And I suppose you could say this is a very, like, trial by fire type situation for me to learn how. Which, again, like, you don't have to agree with, but, like, yeah, it's hard.
I just have got a thought that I just want to share with you, because it's very simplified, but it feels sometimes like women find it more difficult to set boundaries, which means that boundaries, sometimes and maybe even often unstated, are crossed over. Men are better at setting boundaries, but often they're seen as a joke and stepped over and laughed at, even though they're uncomfortable with it. Like, I'm speaking very broadly, but, like, you know, I just...
No, that's actually true. If a man normally if a man steps up and say, hey, this is my boundary, they're looked at as a cuck. They're looked at as, I guess the term now is soy or whatever. No, that's true. Very true. I think the sad part for me is that people will still host up Mr. Girl despite all this. Well, yeah, he's on a world tour right now. If you haven't noticed, Mr. Girl is on a world tour. He really is. Now he's on a world tour of destruction to take down Destiny. When he doesn't realize... people already know how Destiny is. People already know that Destiny has a very healthy sex life. Just to put it lightly. Okay? We all know that. His own wife knows that. Him and his wife have special agreements in their marriage. So I don't understand what Mr. Girl is doing. Because we all know how Destiny is.
Just think to, like, how it's perceived when a man is accused of sexually harassing a woman. You know, there's a TwitchCon thing that happened, for example.
Exactly, Top
got
Tomato.
Or something. I can't remember the details, but it was talked about a lot. Next, you see, he got sexually assaulted at a party, and that was not talked about as much. And people even were defending it and saying, "Oh, well, that's fine. He's a man. He probably wanted it." Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Disagree?
Okay.
Just a thought I had.
I think I'm tracking what you're saying. Can you just repeat like the overall idea one more time for me? I'm sorry.
Sure. So women often find it harder to set boundaries. So it means that boundaries that they sometimes haven't stated get crossed over. And men find it easy to set boundaries, but often their boundaries are seen as a joke and are stepped over and it's laughed about. It's not taken as seriously.
Yes. I would say especially in regards to sex, I think that as shown by the Stardust situation, I think people don't even think that men would want to have any boundaries around sex, or that they do. And so I feel like, yeah, like you're saying, a man saying no to sex or having some kind of standard or thing that needs to be met in order to want to is absolutely dismissed. It's pretty horrifying. I myself, I would say, am guilty of doing that to people in the past, and it's pretty unfortunate.
Well, let's lead on to the Stardust situation. Obviously,
All
I
right,
think
here we
we've got a
go.
rough idea of your thoughts, but there's two aspects I want to look at. The first is like just to hear out what you've got to say about what happened.
Meowser for 20 didn't make me quit, literally. More like people like him were everywhere and would pass off the same things. He does his art and smug about it, and it actively condoned there. It led me to slugging one of those types. Slugging one of those types is, well, we here at the Xylie show we do not condone violence in any way. We do not condone slugging, punching, or any kind of violent act towards people who may or may not deserve that. Okay, so now that I said that, don't blame you, Meowser. Just saying.
At the time, your perspective on it. Maybe give a brief description of what happened for people that are listening that don't know as well from your perspective.
Sure. So in my view, Max
Thank you
and
for the
Stardust
20.
tried to have a conversation about why it's hard
I
for
think
women to say
Xylie
sex
looked
and
at Chad on
why
that
they
one.
should or how they should. And over the course of the conversation, they talked a bit about boundaries and had a disagreement, when Stardust suggested that she makes men wait quite a while because she doesn't feel comfortable with sex, and at least initially. And then Max suggested that this could be considered a test from the other person's perspective, and then told a story about an STD test in which he didn't want to show the results of the test he had gotten to have sex with this girl. She wouldn't have sex with him unless he showed them, and he said, "This makes me not want to have sex with you anymore if you don't trust me to tell you the truth."
Okay, so the whole Stardust thing, Stardust and Cherry, I believe they were wrong against Mr. Girl. Okay, he's a hairy man. I don't think it was pubes. Okay, but with that initial, because I said it to Nick last night in the live stream, with that initial conversation, I think Mr. Girl triggered her, and I think he triggered Stardust on purpose because he likes to do that. He likes to do that with people, to have that control, to know that they can trigger somebody. Yeah, I don't like Stardust. Everybody knows I don't like Stardust. Okay? But this situation has nothing to do whether I like somebody or not. But he likes that control, knowing that she had that issue. They were friends. He triggered her on purpose in the initial conversation before that other shit that her and Cherry were doing. I honestly believe he did it on purpose. Sarah, what are you promoting in my chat? Kia Cat, Xylie, you are psychic. Shaelin confirms that she thinks he might have purposely triggered her. Well, then you know what? That means he's abusive. because only abusive people would purposely trigger someone. So if she does that, if she says that, then your man is abusive to women.
Then later, after they had maybe not spoken for a while and Stardust had been a bit cold towards him, they decided to rehash the conversation and see if their friendship could be remedied since they hadn't resolved the conflict. And then had a large fight with Chud about this same topic, in which I believe Stardust pretty much maintained her position. It can't be a test because it's a boundary, and also decided in this conversation that Max was a huge asshole. And Max said that she had destroyed their friendship because I feel like I'm rambling.
That's okay. Let's focus up a bit if you feel like you're rambling. So
yeah, I'm like, I know the story, but it's like
no, that's okay. We don't.
Something.
Yeah, I know. We've got to explain loads of lore, but like I just mainly just want to focus on just in a few sort of thoughts what specifically Max did in your words, the reaction, and we'll move on from there. And your thoughts on that. Go.
Okay. So after Stardust accused him of possibly flashing her or whatever, by standing up to stretch his back on stream, I was pretty pissed off. My perspective of what happened is that essentially that they both, Stardust and Cherry, were a bit emotionally activated in the conversation. Having been in conversations like this myself with him, I understand that it can be very emotionally triggering, specifically if you are talking about something really sensitive like sex, because I think most of us have quite a bit of baggage around that topic. And I think that being emotionally dysregulated around a specific topic can allow you to perceive another person as being your enemy, or perhaps being more antagonistic than they think they are being, or something like that. And I think that part of why they started to perceive this action of him stretching his back as predatory is because they felt attacked emotionally or possibly even sexually, given the content of the conversation, because they felt that he wasn't maybe listening to them enough, or maybe they thought he wasn't agreeing with them, and that threatened their reality in some way. But yeah, I basically just think they got really upset, and it shifted their perspective on the events, whereas if they had been having a nice conversation and
I honestly think they fucked up. I honestly think Stardust and Cherry fucked up.
had agreed about what was going on, that they may not have perceived it in that way. I highly doubt it. And also, I think that there's some sexism tied up in all of this. I think that for the women, there is an expectation that they are supposed to be strong and emotionally regulated all the time, even when talking about these difficult topics. And I think this is kind of a toxic perspective for women, because it makes it so that we can't be vulnerable about the things we struggle with, or an idea we're struggling to wrap our heads around if it's emotionally activating. And also, I think it's sexist towards men, because Max being a man, Max having a sexuality that he talks about, Max having body hair, all of these things are things that I think are not very accepted. And I think, generally speaking, the accusation, the way it was presented, and the body shaming that came along with it is not something I think you would see if you were talking about a woman, and thus, everyone's a sexist.
Okay. Wait a minute. Now, I do agree Stardust and Cherry fucked up that whole situation. All right? Stardust has even come out, and I don't know if Cherry has, but I know Stardust has even come out and say, okay, I fucked up. All right? But that answer she just gave, to me, that answer she just gave sounds very coached. What another thing that Mr. Girl likes to do is talk about how people are sexist towards him because he's a man. I honestly believe that answer was coached, because it sounded just like him. That sounded like Max took over her body and talked. It literally did. Yes, it sounded like Mr. Girl word salad. 100%, Natalie. That honestly sounded like he took over her body and was talking through her. Holy shit.
Okay, so that's pretty thorough and covers everything, I think. It sounds like you've got a lot more sympathy for Stardust and Cherry than perhaps I perceived based on your tweet longer, which seemed harshly critical. Is that something that's come with time, or have you always had a level of sympathy?
No, I mean, I talked about in my twit longer that I identify with the experience that I think that they're having. I just think that the what's the best way to phrase this? The weaponization of your platform is pretty horrifying. Whether or not they want to take ownership of that, I believe that.
Is it Max trying to weaponize his platform, which is funny to me because he barely has a fucking platform now. But is it Max trying to weaponize his platform and Lab's platform to take down Destiny? So are you mad about that part? I don't think you are, because if you were, you wouldn't be doing this interview right now. Because again, remember, after the whole Mr. Girl, you're my real doll fucking video, she wasn't allowed to talk to anybody. But now that he's in a warpath to go towards, to take down Destiny and DGG, she all of a sudden can do interviews. Holy shit, it's a Christmas fucking miracle.
That is what was happening. And yeah, I mean, I was furious, and I am still horrified. I'm
horrified. Okay, I wouldn't say
upset
horrified
about the way.
Okay, I wouldn't go so. I mean, all right. If it horrified you, fine. Okay, whatever. But horrified, really, because I'm gonna be kind of honest. Nobody really took Stardust and Cherry's back on that one. Everybody was kind of against them on that one. So it's not like a whole dog pile happened on Mr. Girl. Who took it? Come on. Holy shit.
That Stardust has continued to treat the topic. And yeah, I'm not saying that I'm not fucking furious, because I am. I just
I can get being mad about it.
It's not that I think they did it for no reason. I think that being that emotionally activated in that way can really distort your thinking.
Like how Mr. Girl is mad that him and Destiny broke up, so now he's taking down Destiny and DGG, and him and Lab are moving forward like the good soldiers they are to take down Destiny. You mean like emotionally attached like that? When Mr. Girl used to always go and talk to Destiny, he acted like Destiny was his daddy. He would sit there so sad face when him and Destiny would have conversations. He would sit there so sad face go, "Are you mad with me? Are you mad with me, Destiny?" Like all Solomon shit. Like for real.
Unfortunately, I don't know that that is something that has been undistorted since that point. But yeah, that's what I think happened. I just think that, like, I'm very furious about a lot of things that happen in streamer world.
Shaelin made artwork with her, Mr. Girl, and Lav in it, where it's her, like her and Mr. Girl and then Lav in the middle of them two. Yeah, no, she's made artwork on her Twitter with that.
So,
Cool.
So even though I can look at the person and be like, I get that they're a person and they're having their own experience. Yeah, I think it's horrifying, and I think the way that Max was treated was really awful. And I think too that Max handled it in like a very classy way, which I believe shows his character that I know to be true about him. So yeah, I don't.
Okay. He got fucked over. I agree. But classy is not him at whatsoever. I have seen his videos. Classy is not it. I'm just saying. Classy is not it. I don't care, Lucid.
I'm pissed, but like, I'm not gonna like dehumanize him.
Sure. You mentioned the way Stardust has handled it since. I mean, my well, the perception I think that's common is that Stardust apologized many times, deleted the post. What is it you're referring to exactly?
Well, first of all, I don't, as you may know, Chud, I don't really believe in apologies either. So I think that apologizing is somewhat insufficient, but particularly in the way that some people approach apologies. And basically, my sense of it is, I'm sorry, but, which we all know is fucking toxic as fuck. And like,
Okay, I agree with that. I agree. Because once you put the but behind the I'm sorry, you're negating the I'm sorry. I do agree with that.
I don't, my sense is that even though she apologized, she has gone back and insisted that actually he's an asshole.
No, he is an asshole. He originally triggered Stardust in that original, like that conversation months back. He triggered her. That's why she didn't talk to him for months. He purposely fucking triggered her. She's allowed, listen, Stardust fucked up. Stardust did fuck up. But she's still allowed to think he's an asshole. I thought he was an asshole this whole entire time. People are allowed to think Mr. Girl's an asshole. There's a whole slew of people who think Mr. Girl is an asshole. And among other things. Whole slew of them.
I saw the whole stream with Aiko. And like, yeah, I'm not,
I mean, she's
I
entitled to
think
that
trying
opinion
to
of being an asshole, right? Like, he did speak to her at times, notwithstanding obviously the allegations, but like, some of the things he said to her, like at one point in our conversation, he said, I feel like I'm raping you. Like, does that not entitle someone to
Yep.
think they're an asshole for talking to them that way?
no, I'm not saying she can't think he's an asshole.
He literally said, I feel like I'm raping you. Knowing damn good and well that could trigger her. That could trigger anyone who's been through a situation like that. Just saying.
Okay.
And I agree that that is a, I don't know, provocative thing to say. But no, I lean more towards seeing his perspective on this issue.
Oh, of course.
But no, I don't think that saying he's just an asshole trying to provoke you in the same breath as you're trying to apologize, like, no. I don't think that is a, I think it's a defensive response. I think if you are actually remorseful about what happened and understand the graveness of the situation, you could leave it at, like, I think we disagree and it's unfortunate because I had hoped that Max and I could maybe reconcile our differences, but I can see we are, like, not going to be able to have conversations any longer. But I think that this was an unfortunate thing, you know?
I can admit that I fucked up and still think you're an asshole and still call you an asshole. I can say, I think you're an asshole. I apologize because I did wrong. You're still an asshole. The two are not mutually exclusive. You know what I'm saying? It's not provocative. It's disgusting. Yeah, facts.
No. But no, I don't
So-
think that insulting the person that you fucked over in the same breath is quite an apology.
Sure, I guess the issue that I've got
He's
with
an
this though is that
asshole.
you accept that they were emotionally dysregulated enough to make the allegation, but then it feels like you're being harshly critical of their response to that, even though they possibly continue to be emotionally dysregulated or whatever phrasing. See what I mean?
Yes. I think if you are emotionally dysregulated, to some extent, it is your job to be aware of this. Now, in the moment, in the fight, I think that this is something that it's easy to do. I've done it countless times. And I think that, unless you're taking a step away or a moment to breathe or whatever, it can be hard to regulate yourself. But the reason why I'm less sympathetic towards this is that there has been time, there has been a break. That's not to say that everyone should be emotionally regulated all the time. But yes, if you're making a public statement, I think you should be regulated enough to understand the way that your statements are affecting the overall narrative, yeah. It's not like he's actively berating her in the stream where she is like shouting about what an asshole he is. So yeah, I don't no, I think humanizing people is a good approach. I feel like that's what we have tried to do, or at least what I've tried to do, is like condemn it, but I get why it happened, and I think the thing that I am just more upset about is the continuation of it, the insistence that he is an asshole, rather than that there's some kind of like difference in perspectives, the desire to go on Destiny's stream in an unrelated situation and start shouting about it. Again, I'm not saying that all of these were perfectly like emotionally sound decisions, but like, no, I don't think that's a good approach.
I just realized what the hell is going on. I literally just realized what the hell is going on. I can't believe I didn't think about this until like right now. Okay, so he's in this war with Destiny now, right? Who is the best person to use as a meat shield? The person that everybody thinks is being abused because harsh words will not go towards her, but towards him. He is literally using her as a human meat shield. That's exactly what's going on right here. He's using her as a meat shield because why would you say anything harsh towards the same person you think is being abused by the subject of Mr. Girl? Why would you use harsh language towards the person that you feel like is getting abused when you see the abuse in fucking videos? And you know about his videos about him raping women. And you know about his video of raping a woman. You know about his videos on how he used to put his hands on his ex-wife. Why would you give her harsh words? Because had it been him, it would be easier to be harsh. He is literally using her as a human meat shield. Literally. That's literally what's going on. Damn.
Okay. Another thing that I noted in this conversation is there seems to be what I would describe as a bloodlust for Cherry and Stardust even to this day, where people are kind of vociferously criticizing and almost expecting more, expecting their career to be gone or something like that. Do you think that what's happened is like adequate consequence for what they did? Should there be more, or should everyone just kind of move on at this point? What do you think?
Well, I said this on Twitter. I don't think they should quit. I don't think that like their careers should be over. What I would hope is for some introspection. I get the sense that Cherry may have done so, which I appreciate. And I think at first, I did think that perhaps Stardust was doing so as well. I really don't know what she'll do, but I just think that there are some problems there to address, and like, if I was a streamer, I would not be particularly trusting towards them. I'm not saying that, I mean, people can make their own decisions, but that's how I feel and probably how I would choose to behave around them if it was me.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So, I think that kind of covers the...
Of course she's going to answer like that because she can't say I want them to be over with because how he has been deplatformed. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, she can't say, I want them to be deplatformed, because that would work against... Because you got to remember, Stardust wrote love letters when he got banned off of Twitch, and this was my biggest problem with Stardust, how she was with Mr. Girl. She wrote a fucking love letter to Twitch. Please let him on. He's such a good human being. Please let him back on the platform. She can't say that. She can't turn around and say, I want them deplatformed. What else? I mean, hasn't Stardust moved on? I can't watch a Stardust stream, so I can't tell you. But I believe Stardust has moved on. She's not even talking about him anymore, is she? Hello? She said, well, now, with the current controversy, I can kind of understand where she's saying something now. But Stardust only just now realizes he was playing her the whole time. He was playing her the whole time. I think Cherry and Stardust were right about him manipulating them, just wrong about the low pants thing. Yes, Moody Morgan, I agree. Yeah, she's talking about the Destiny drama, so obviously she has to talk about Mr. Girl because he is the Destiny drama, you know? Oh, wrong button. All right.
The Cherry Stardust stuff. I wanted to... Now listen, I'm going to be level with you here. This is probably my least favourite aspect because I hate gender stuff. I find it very boring and not interesting. But I think it is important to ask you because it is, you know, an important part of your dynamic and the history and stuff. And then we'll maybe after that get into some of the more drama topics, okay? Mm-hmm. So, I guess the best place for me to start, what is the story with your journey with gender over the past few years?
Oh my God.
As succinctly as possible.
Well, I very hesitantly came out as non-binary.
Okay, listen to this, and this is where I have a fit. And then I had to stop watching at this point because I was busy doing other stuff.
Maybe in like 2013. But I never was super attached to the labels of it and would kind of be a bit androgynous here and there. And then when Max and I started dating, I was leaning more heavily into being more androgynous and maybe I wouldn't even say I was really playing around with pronouns. I would say I had a thought and I thought, no, this doesn't really fit me. But yeah, sort of generally speaking, if pressed on it, I would have probably identified as non-binary. And at the time, I had been in a sort of questionable place mentally, and I was considering taking hormones to look a bit more masculine. Mm-hmm. And this was very early on for our relationship together.
Their first 2 weeks. Remember what I'm telling you. Their first 2 weeks. Let's continue.
I think we'd only been dating for like maybe a month.
2 weeks. He said it in the video.
And I told Max.
But even if it was within a month, it still doesn't matter.
As like the first person I had really run the idea by about the hormones. And he immediately recoiled and was like, this is a terrible idea. And I'm angry that you are wanting to take these like destructive actions towards your body. And I was super fucking pissed. Absolutely hated that he said that. He, at the time, was also not wanting to call me by my shortened name Shay, which...
He said in the video within the first 2 weeks, she wanted to start taking testosterone to look more androgynous. And he told her, no, because your body is not just yours anymore. That is what he said in the video when they discussed it. He told her, no, because your body is just not, it isn't just your body anymore. That's what he said to her when they discussed it in one of their videos where they have a conversation. That is what he said. He said that, no, I told you that your body wasn't just yours anymore. That's what he said in the video when they were discussing it. It boils down to it. He has nothing to do with what anyone does with their body. If I wanted to take testosterone today, it's my fucking choice, not my husband's. It's my choice.
At the time I had been using, I don't use it anymore. And I was really angry that he was trying to insist on using my full name and that he was saying this. So basically I listened to him about why he was saying it, which was that he thought I had a lot of internalized misogyny, that I hated being a woman, understandably, because there are a lot of things about being a woman that really sucks, but that he felt that I had not resolved this, and that was why I was wanting to be more masculine. And
it's almost like he uses that I'm a feminist, and he uses feminism to literally control the women around him. It's really gross. It's really, really gross. Okay, Floptina, we get it. We get it, Floptina. Yeah, exactly. How is he going to tell her about internalized misogyny? It's like he uses being a feminist against women. It's gross.
I identified with what he said, and I was like, well, I hadn't really thought about it like that. And so even though I was really upset that he was not yes-manning me, I felt that it was something to consider. And I think over time, I have become even more firm that I believe I would have gone down what would have been a very destructive path for myself in that regard. I don't know if I would have been ever like fully trans per se, but I essentially view this as him saving me, saving my body from myself. And yeah. There's a certain arrogance to him saying that is irritating.
And that's another thing about him. He loves having a savior complex. He has a savior complex right now when it comes to Lav. He feels like, and he has said out loud, I feel like I have to set a good example for you, Lav. Young girl at 24 years old. He has a savior complex. And his way is the only way for that savior complex.
But I do feel gratitude for that. If that makes sense.
You had a certain feeling about something. You talked to Max about it, and the outcome is seemingly exactly what Max wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Plants, Lav is something else. I don't even know what to say about Lav. I'm going to be honest. Lav irritates the shit out of me. She irritates the absolute hell out of me. Lav is something else.
Is that a common dynamic in your relationship?
Maybe.
When was the last time? Sorry, go on. What were you gonna say?
I don't remember.
Okay.
You know what, Ben Masta? It's funny that you say that. Ben says, I suspect most self-proclaimed male feminists are misogynists. You're actually very correct. You're very correct. Most people who constantly have to say they are one thing, they're actually the opposite. He's an can't speak. Okay, Misa for $2.99. He's an inauthentic and pretend feminist. Yes, 100%. Thank you for the $2.99. Thank you for the $2.99. Yeah, like most people, like I don't know. You'll see a lot of people. You know, I'm a feminist. You see these men and you know, or like I'm family values. All right, we don't like the gays. The gays are bad, and they're the ones who get caught in the bathroom, in an airport bathroom, or in a park. Or those people are like, abortion is bad, let's get rid of abortion. And then you find out they had a mistress that had an abortion. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit. No, I agree with you, Ben. I agree. I literally look at dudes sideways who are constantly saying, I'm a feminist, I'm a feminist, I'm a feminist. Are you though? Are you really? Let me watch you for a bit and see if that's true or not.
So
I think Xylie
I guess that,
looked at Chad on that one.
if you've got this dynamic where whenever you have a conversation about something, it doesn't seem, based on what I've seen, based on what you're saying now, that you ever get your own way. Sounds like it's Max's way or the highway. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems like quite a prominent dynamic in your relationship with him.
Maybe. I guess. Well.
3D. These are the people on Twitter that say they're leaving, then check how many liked they really. Oh, yeah. There's always people who freak out with change and stuff like that.
I think Xylie
But I agree
looked
with you.
at Chad.
I'll call you 3D. I agree with you, 3D. And thank you for the 5. I appreciate it.
First of all, I want to say that the things that you see are the things that we basically choose for you to see. So in some ways, I would say perhaps it's a skewed perspective, but
The only things you see are the things we choose for you to see. Why is he always choosing to put on his channel? Well, he doesn't have his channel anymore. But why does he always choose to show the abuse? You know what I'm saying? Like, why does he always choose to show the abuse? It makes no damn sense.
Well, let me think about it a bit more. Is this a common dynamic? I don't know. I mean, kind of. I wouldn't say it's the only dynamic, but yeah, if he proposes an idea to me and his reasoning behind it, and I think it makes sense and it resonates with me, I don't know. Doesn't that just mean we're on the same page?
Well, not necessarily, because what you've just described doesn't sound like a compromise. And listen, it's an extreme situation. Perhaps no compromise was possible. But when was the last time you had an issue that you compromised and met in the middle on, and you both got a bit of what you wanted?
I don't know that we quite approach it that way. Sort of, but it's more like,
Ashers, I've got questions.
what do we both need, or what do we both think about something, and then determining if we're going to personally prioritize our own needs or problem solve. But I don't know. I used to be fully in charge of the groceries, and I was getting annoyed that I was handling everything in that regard. And so now he has to select which food he puts in the cart rather than me just deciding everything for us both.
Okay, so on the one side, you've got this big issue with your gender that you're trying to deal with, and you have this conversation with Max, and eventually it transpires that he gets everything that he wants, but on the other side, he now puts the groceries in the cart.
Well, now wait a second, Chud.
Yes?
This is dishonest.
How so?
I don't think it is. Not at
Well,
all.
you asked me when was the last time you compromised, and that's the one that comes to mind. I'm not suggesting that.
Right, well, can you give me another one that is perhaps more substantive than fucking groceries? Is that possible?
Good for Chud for asking that.
No, because I feel
Okay.
like, no, I, let's say this. I get where you're going. I get what you're trying to do.
What do you think? Wait, what do you think I'm trying?
That's just like Mr. Girl. Welcome back, Leon. That's just like Mr. Girl. I see what you're doing here. I see what you're trying to do. That's just like Mr. Girl. I'm telling you, it's like Mr. Girl is taking over her body and speaking for her. Holy shit.
Trying to do?
I think
Yeah,
you're trying to point
Spiral,
out
I agree.
that there's a perception that I am not my own person, and that in some ways there is a mind-melting, hypnotizing thing that he's doing where he explains his ideas to me and it changes my mind and bing, I can do what he wants.
Ma'am, you're sounding just like him. You do. That's why people think that, because you're sounding just like him. Oh my God.
And I think that that is a valid criticism. Chud. And I would say I don't know. As I said earlier in our conversation about my psychology, I do struggle with codependence. I wouldn't say that Max is taking advantage of this in an overarching sense, but does it benefit him sometimes? Sure. In this regard, on the issue of gender, you could say Shaelin was so codependent that she changed her gender to suit Max. Like, fine. I think that's an argument you can say, but
that's the way, okay, so not only that is the way you presented it in the original video when y'all were talking about it, but quite honestly, that's how you presented it to Chud Logic. Just a few minutes earlier, that's how you presented it. You presented it that it was because of him. You didn't go through with what you thought was right, and he saved you. You literally said that. So that means it was because of Max, you didn't go through what you thought was right at the time. You just presented it that way, but now you're trying to say the opposite. What the fuck, dude? She's literally saying the opposite of what she just said.
I don't agree with it. And I think that, like, me being in therapy to try to work on asserting myself more, trying to find out what my personality looks like in a relationship where it doesn't have to revolve around the other person is something that I am building, working on. So yeah, I mean, I can be vulnerable about that. I find it irritating in regard to this particular decision. Maybe that's just internal defensiveness, but yeah, I genuinely think that I, at that point, had not gone to therapy.
This
I
is so
see myself
irritating.
quite as clearly as I do now.
This is so
and I'm
irritating.
glad that he pushed back on me, whether it was my codependence or not. That made me hesitate about it, because I think that at this point, my feelings about this have really solidified. And like, I do have my own thoughts about like non-binary people and trans people. I mean, you saw me in your chat the other day, but I
You sound like Matt Walsh.
Maybe I am.
Okay.
I think Xylie
But no,
looked at chat on that one.
I think that it's
Misa for $2.99. She may be a meat shield, but this is so dishonest. This is so irritating. Thank you for the $2.99, Misa. This is so irritating. This is irritating as shit to me. Oh my God. This is crazy.
it's valid to say that perhaps my personality is not as fleshed out or something as people might like. And I get that. And I think that is actually quite valid. And I think that Max encourages me in some ways, and in some ways he benefits from this feature. I think we're aware of that, and that's something we are working on.
Okay.
So.
One thing that I noted, particularly recently reviewing some of these videos, is there's almost a direct line you can draw where a few years ago, you know, you were definitely presenting as more androgynous, and now clearly you're presenting like a lot more feminine. Is this like a conscious choice that you've made in your presentation that kind of goes along with your path through your different perspectives on your gender?
Well, I think that part of what I was pushing back against at the time that this incident happened, and part of why I was really leaning into my non-binariness or whatever, was partially because of what I viewed as a toxic relationship dynamic previous to Max, in which I was expected to dress very feminine and was insulted if I didn't. And so I was pushing back against this pretty hard after that breakup, and I think it was a confusing time for me.
So she basically went from one abusive relationship to the next. That shit happens. That happens. You get so used to getting treated like shit, you jump into another relationship where you get treated like shit. It happens. Because now she's with a man in the Real Doll video. He bites into his, I can't remember, he had the orange, all right? And he was, in the very beginning, he's like, you're wearing makeup.
I think Xylie looked at Chad on that one.
And she's like, yeah. He goes, I don't like you wearing makeup. It's none of your fucking business, Max, whether you like her wearing fucking makeup or not. It's not your fucking face, Max. What? She's marrying him. He's 100% coached her on this. I agree, Misa. It sounds like it. She sounds just like him.
It's not to say that I hadn't been thinking about gender before this, but I would say at the time when we got together, that was like very at the forefront of my presentation. At the moment, I think my presentation has gone through some phases. I think the last couple of years has been a real journey for me in trying to, I don't know, like reconnect with my body and my self, I guess, which sounds a bit cheesy as I hear it coming out of my mouth, but I think that's pretty true. Like, I was very obsessed with like dyeing my hair and, you know, wearing like a ton of makeup. I did wear makeup for this interview because I was too anxious not to, but generally speaking, I don't really wear it. And at the moment, at least.
Because he doesn't like it. He's already stated in that video, in the very beginning, he doesn't like it when she wears makeup. Now, for someone who doesn't know that and hears that, it's like, oh, she just doesn't wear makeup. Like, I don't wear makeup. He literally told her in the beginning of that video, I don't like it when you wear makeup. That's why she generally doesn't wear makeup.
And, yeah, I felt like these realizations that I was sort of using these things as like coping mechanisms for myself and like constantly redefining myself through all these things, it was like important for me to try to distance myself from that. So like growing my hair out in a natural color and things like that. So, so I think that part of that is just coming to be more comfortable with my femininity. That's not to say that I don't dress androgynous, because I think I do, and still at times. But I think I'm just more comfortable with that feminine side, so it makes sense to me that it would come off that way.
Sure. Question about your previous relationship, without going into detail. Did you consider that abusive at the time, or was it only later you came to realize that?
I guess at the time I thought it was kind of fucked up. And I believe in the relationship I started to dress androgynous on purpose to, not to like provoke him, but to like force him to accept me or to not, basically.
I think Xylie looked at Chad on
yeah,
that
clearly
one.
that didn't work out. But I think I did recognize it as a problematic dynamic. I'm not sure I would go so far as to say it was like full-on abusive. I mean,
She can't say it was abusive, because if she admits that first relationship was abusive, then she would have to admit that her current relationship is abusive. Think about it. Think about it. If she admits that that first relationship was abusive, she would have to admit that her current relationship is abusive, just based off what he has said and done in videos with her. So she can't say that first relationship was abusive. Because then people can point at him and go, that means you're in an abusive relationship right now. I agree, Misa. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, Misa. Thank you for the $2.99.
and it was shitty.
Okay. Do you think there's any parallels whatsoever in any of the stuff that Max does in regards to you?
Like insulting my appearance? Absolutely
Sure.
not.
Okay.
No.
I don't like it when you wear makeup. I see you have makeup on. Yeah, I do. I don't like it when you wear makeup. Your body isn't your own anymore. But no parallels whatsoever. None. No parallels. Nope.
Absolutely not. I feel like, no, I feel that we have taken a pretty intentional stance about, like, accepting each other's bodies, and, like, we don't, I mean, people get pissed off about the compliment thing, but I feel as if this is an addiction for a lot of women, and I am immensely relieved to not have to think about whether he's judging my appearance. So.
Isn't he judging your appearance when he's clocking that you're wearing makeup, then he tells you, I don't like it when you wear makeup? Isn't he clocking your appearance when he does that? And the whole no compliment thing, everybody likes compliments. Even the people who say they don't like compliments, they still like compliments. And there's nothing wrong with giving people, hell, I give strangers compliments. Be in the store and like, ooh, I love that shirt you're wearing. I like those earrings. I like your hair or something. Everybody likes to hear something nice. Leon, you have a really nice voice. Just saying. So, everybody likes to hear something nice.
Yeah.
So that is true then. So that in your relationship, neither of you compliment each other on appearance at any point.
Correct.
Even
It's not
if you-
just we don't compliment, we don't
Okay.
comment on each other's clothes, each other's hair,
Okay.
or things like that.
Whose idea was that, by the way?
Blaze and Peach, thank you for joining the Just Saying Squad. Wait, what do you
That,
ask?
by the way. Okay.
Or things like that.
Whose idea was that, by the way?
It was his idea.
Of course it was his idea. Of course it was his idea.
Okay.
Okay,
Interesting.
Chud. Don't give me that sneaky fucking smile.
I'm
I
just
fucking
asking
see
the
your
questions
face.
that need to be asked,
Oh,
okay? I'm Andrew Neil right
I'm
now,
just
and you're Ben
asking
Shapiro.
questions.
Exactly.
I'm just asking questions.
Okay. Okay. Right. Sorry. Let me just bring this up quickly. Okay. So, in terms of the main pieces of drama, I guess that you and Max have been involved in primarily, I feel like that more or less covers the main points I wanted to get to. We'll get to a question segment as well a bit later, but I wanted to give you a bit of an opportunity. Just have a bit of time to drama post a bit. Okay. Nothing to do with my own concern for my own content and viewers. This is purely for your benefit. All right. So, we need to address the elephant in the room. Obviously, Max has been for a very public thing with a big content creator known as Destiny recently. So I want to make it broad so you can, elaborate out. I'll just ask, what are your thoughts on Destiny?
Well, I would say I have moral beef with Destiny,
Okay.
but I also have personal beef with Destiny. Which I don't think he knows about this. Maybe he does.
Have you ever spoken, by the
but-
way?
We were in a group chat at one point, and he was fucking terrible. Not directly terrible, but just like weirdly dismissive. Max was just trying to like introduce us to say like hello, and he just posted the Sweatstiny fucking meme and left the group. And I was like, what a fucking douchebag.
Okay, I have a question. I got a question for the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if it's kind of obvious that Destiny is kind of a douchebag. Not in a abusive way douchebag, but I mean, he's not like all sweet unicorns and rainbows. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Destiny. You can't watch, to me, you can't watch him and not notice that. Yeah, he's a little douchey. It's part of his fucking personality. He's Latino. That's how they are. That's how they are. They're douchey. I mean, to say to that? I mean, did you expect him to be all butterflies, unicorns, and rainbows with you? That's not him. They got that machismo thing about them. Destiny's Cuban. Destiny is Latino. That's how they are. I hate to tell people that, but hello.
And so I am personally offended by this. I'm personally offended by him
I bet she
pretending
was.
like the fucking cell phone thing had any merit. It's not fucking funny. It's fucking annoying. And I know he's not that stupid, so it's just stupid.
But it was your boyfriend who said it on the stream. Be mad at Max.
A general note, I think what he is doing is immoral, and I have a lot of problems with it because I know that he's smart. So I feel that he should be able to see this if he has a moral compass, which I am now questioning
he's Cuban.
whether or not that's true.
Spiral. He's Cuban.
But yeah, essentially, if you
It don't matter if it's
have
half.
a platform,
He's Cuban.
I believe that it is your duty to create an atmosphere that is safe for guests if you are going to talk to people. I also, to some extent, believe that you should create a safe environment for your fans to some degree. Obviously, different content is going to be talking about different things. Different people have different ideas about safety. I personally disagree with his approach here, and I think it's incredibly toxic. I guess in an overarching way, I have a problem with streaming in general. I think that there are so many blurry boundaries and lack of guidelines that no streamer is really protected, which is kind of a problem overarchingly. That being said, I don't blame that it's in itself on Destiny. However, I think that as sort of one of the largest figureheads of the political streaming sphere, he does have an obligation to the people around him to create a somewhat safe environment for them. And I'm not saying that, like, again, in my relationship, we shout and call each other names sometimes. I'm not saying that you can't do things like that per se, but I think that if you are going to create an environment that fosters these, like, vitriolic dog piles, and if you are going to be talking about people extensively kind of behind their backs and shaping the narrative in the way he can because he is so looked up to, that yeah, you have a moral obligation to the people you're bringing on. And like, as you pointed out, part of people's concern with Max's content is they think that he is publicly embarrassing me. And I don't think people are extending that to Destiny. I think that people are publicly humiliated constantly as a result of how he runs his platform and his subreddit.
No. Mr. Girl publicly humiliated himself by overreacting on how he was treated on DGG. Lav. Oh God, Lav. Lav has publicly humiliated herself because she changes her view depending on who she's talking to. People go on there and publicly humiliate themselves. It's not like he's holding a gun to them and making them say the words that come out of their fucking mouths. What? Okay, Top Tomato, what you got? I'll hear you out. What you got? Yeah, Asher, stick them up and say this. I'm waiting for Top Tomato to say something. And being on this stream is super... Okay, nah. I'm keeping my mouth shut. No, go ahead and say it. Listen, we're not an echo chamber. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, say it. It's okay. Well, Destiny, oh, yo, you agree? Okay. All right. I thought you were going to say something opposite. I was like, no, go ahead and say it. We're not an echo chamber here. Toots McGee asks, he's not dating his stream guest, though, is he? I wouldn't say Destiny dates some of the women that come up there. I don't think dating is the right word. Toots McGee. Dating is not the right word. There is no whining and dining. There's no whining and dining. There is no, hey, let me take you out to the movies and a restaurant and then we're going to do our thing. You know, Destiny, but look, him and his wife, they have boundaries set in their marriage and, you know, and they're happy with it. And that's all that matters. But these are also grown-ass people, too. And Max tried this crap on me, he'd be out the door. I know that's right, Misa. And Moonhag's like, third date who? Top Tomato, he been around the block. He's been around the block, down the street, 4 blocks over, 5 blocks back. Destiny has been around, okay? I'm dying laughing. I just mean it's not intimate relationship for emotional abuse. Destiny has been around town. Let's put it that way, okay? Let's not be coy about it. Just saying.
And I think it is pretty reprehensible that he is not owning that and not taking steps to at least support people in the fallout of that if he's going to insist that's how it's run. And so yeah. And I did write a subreddit post in Max's subreddit about this comparison between like the doll review and what I think Destiny is doing. But yeah, I think it's pretty disgusting, and that is part of my reasoning for not wanting to go on his stream. Not that I think there was a great pull for me to go on his stream in the first place.
I think Xylie looked
basically
at
what
chat
he
on
said is that
one.
he thinks I don't have a cell phone, and then treated me really weird in the group chat. So I didn't feel particularly inclined to go on anyway. But yeah, I just don't think it's a safe place.
Hold on, I gotta fix my hair for a second. He for the streets. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, Destiny definitely runs them streets. Just saying. Whew. Okay. Because it was falling and it was driving me nuts, Ruin Leon. Shut up. It was driving me crazy. Shit. All right.
And the fact that he is so arrogant about this, and
It's Destiny. Have you... Okay. Maybe, just maybe she never watched the Destiny stream. But you can't tell me, after watching one Destiny stream, that you can't tell that motherfucker is arrogant. Destiny is arrogant. Duh. But guess who else is arrogant? Mr. Girl. Mr. Girl's arrogant too. Mr. Girl's arrogant too. Teddy, Destiny arrogant? No, I don't believe it. He seems so humble. Woo. Girl.
and is saying in streams that like he's not missing out on any opportunities as far as he knows because it's an unsafe atmosphere. Well, guess what? That's why I fucking didn't go on. So fuck him.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
With everything that you said in regards to what content creators should have on Destiny's platform, how far would you extend that? Would you extend that to someone like Nick Fuentes, for example?
I think Well, I disagree with how he platformed Nick Fuentes, but if you're going to be talking to someone like that, yes, I think you should not allow your guests to create like horrifying attacks on their personhood. I don't like him, and I think he's very threatening and terrifying, but like I don't think he should be like treated like a fucking animal. Like, no. I think it is your responsibility as the host to, if you are bringing someone on, you don't have to agree with their takes. You can push back on them. As I said, I don't have a problem with like shouting if you're disagreeing or even name calling, although as I said, I'm somewhat uncomfortable with that as just a concept, but I'm not like morally fully against it.
It's funny she said that about Nick Fuentes. Do you know how many people got pissed off that anyone gave Mr. Girl a platform? The same exact thing can be said about Mr. Girl and what you think about Nick Fuentes. Because there is a hell of a lot of people pissed off that anyone has ever had a conversation with Mr. Girl. In all honesty.
But yeah, I think that it's a pretty horrifying situation, and I do think that it limits your ability to actually engage with people with different perspectives, and people who are not part of this very insular community, because people don't want to fucking put up with that shit. I'm fucking not. I'm not saying I'm like the end all be all, but I'm sure as fuck sure that someone else might not want to put up with it either. So.
One thing I'm interested in all of that then. So you mentioned your concern is people being treated like an animal. What specifically did you see that you felt was, say, like Mr. Girl or maybe another content creator getting treated like an animal?
I think that mods should not be aggressors. I feel that mods should be boundary holders, but there is a blurring of boundaries there where these mods are being aggressors towards people that they particularly don't like based on these streams.
Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you what, don't come to my chat, because some of my mods are aggressive as shit. I'm just saying. Amber Chick alone is like 3 aggressive mods in one. Just throwing it out there. I got some nice mods, but I got some aggressive assholes too. Don't come to my chat. Lord have mercy. Some of my mods are like, they try to behave, like Amber Chick, she tries to behave, but it doesn't work out very well for her. Listen, my mods tried to unionize with the members to go against me and take over my stream. Okay? I'm always fighting with my mods. Jessica is probably going to put out a tweet going, 0 days since Xylie has gone to war with her mods. I'm always going to war with my mods. I mean, they're always trying to unionize with the green. The blue and the green are always trying to unionize against me. I'm just saying. You know why, Top Tomato? Do you know why I union bust in this chat? Because this is not a democracy. It's a Xylie-archy. What I say goes. Just saying.
And I think this, one, affects their ability to moderate effectively. But aside from that, I just think it is a...
Flop Tina starts screaming Norma Ray. Okay, Flop Tina, please be serious. Flop Tina, no, you did not just yell out Norma Ray. I hate you. I hate you so much right now. I have nothing good to say about you right now, okay? Just letting you know.
I want to say toxic, but I don't think that's descriptive enough. I guess it's just like creating a emotionally violent atmosphere for creators, because you can't, there's no way to be vulnerable about your opinions, about your self, and be self-aware if you're going to get relentlessly attacked, and the team who is supposedly there to create the atmosphere for others are actively perpetuating the violence by sending like aggressive messages towards Lav.
Ma'am, have you not seen and heard the bullshit that your boyfriend spews out? Have you not seen and heard the bullshit that Lav speaks out for her Lord and Savior, Mr. Girl? The shit that comes out of Mr. Girl's mouth pisses a lot of people off. Hence the reason why they call him a pedophile. Hence the reason why they call him an abuser. Do you not understand the harmful shit Mr. Girl says? Ma'am, I know I can't talk to Mr. Girl. I know I can't talk to Mr. Girl because there's no way I would hold it together. There's no way I could talk to him. And Nicholas Diorio was talking about putting me in a fire team with him on Destiny. He done lost his damn mind. Can you really believe it? Can you believe that? He wanted me to run a raid with Mr. Girl in Destiny 2. It's going to be in, and then was going to stream it. I'm like, we're not going to get very much done because I'm going to be cussing his ass out the whole goddamn time. And there's no friendly fire in Destiny 2, so it's not like I can shoot him in the game. What? No. Hell no. Mm-mm. Hell no. Mm-mm. You will never forgive Nick for that, huh? Never. Never. The pure thought that he thought I was going to be on a goddamn raid team with Mr. Girl, he lost his damn mind. Just saying. All right.
And like banning people.
I mean, it's a joke now. I don't think he was really going to do it. It's just a joke. And hell, I still haven't played Destiny with them because I never get I never have time to get on the damn game and level up.
Because they're emotionally dysregulated. I just think it's, well, I think it's bad business, but I also think it is emotionally.
Flop Tina, I would die a virgin first before even thinking about answering that question. I would die. I would just keel over and die right here, right now, before even answering that question. I'm not even going to read that question out loud. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. I choose death. Off with my head. Or whatever. Doesn't matter. Death.
Destructive, and I would say abusive to people to engage with.
Okay.
And I think and like as we've sort of established earlier in this situation, like these people can choose to do that, and I feel like that's one of the primary arguments I keep seeing is like, well, they chose to, they know what they're getting into when they go on the stream.
Yes.
But the problem is that you can't really push back that well. Like you can kind of ask for different treatment, or you can try to create for yourself a guideline that would not be abusive for you like you would in a relationship. But they don't do that. It's been proven, I think, with Max, that requesting that a situation be less emotionally abusive to the Orbiters is not tolerated.
Okay, I think this is where the argument, when Nick was explaining this to me last night, and Destiny kind of said it in his VOD that I listened to partially through today, that I want to go over tomorrow. And then Mr. Girl made a response to that. There's this talk about the smaller streamers going up on Destiny's chat. Now, I can understand where it would be nervous if a person is used to having 500 to 1K in their chat, and then they go on a Destiny stream and there's like 20K in there. I can get the nervousness, okay? But you still have a responsibility of the shit that comes out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? I'm being serious, Floptina, for a second, okay? You're still responsible for the shit that comes out of your mouth. Okay? And the shit that Mr. Girl, it's like when ABBA told Mr. Girl off and said, you know why nobody likes you? Because you cut people off. Yes, Top Tomato, they are still grown-ass adults. Now, is there a difference between a 24-year-old and a 35-year-old? 100%, okay? Like, a 24-year-old is still technically a grown-ass adult, but there is a difference between being in your mid-20s and your mid-30s and your mid-40s. Hell, there's a difference between mid-30s and mid-40s, all right? There's different stages of growing and living through life. All right. But you are still responsible for what comes out of your mouth. You are still responsible of, hey, what do you believe on this? Well, this is my belief on that. Okay, if nobody agrees with it, nobody agrees with it. But you still stated how you believe. You still argued your point. You are a grown-ass adult on a platform arguing your point. You can't blame that on Destiny. You're the one that went up there, knowing Destiny's audience, knowing how many people are on that chat. You still decided with your free will to get on there and state what you state. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Floptina. The brain isn't even fully developed at 24. Yeah, so as a grown-ass adult, you're still making that choice to go on that Destiny stream.
Okay, but I guess because you're saying that, like, you know, you're kind of trying to disregard the idea that people don't have to go on, right? But that's true. You could literally just do your own stream, and the challenge is that you're not going to grow as much. So when you go onto Destiny's stream, it's the double-edged sword, the rough with the smooth. You might get shat on, you might have some issues, but also you're going to get put in front of a big audience and potentially going to grow, which I think certainly is something Max benefited from.
No, I understand that.
That's another thing too. You need to make sure you're ready to go on a Destiny stream. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be put in front of a lot of people. I want to grow. Of course I want to grow. But I don't know if I would feel comfortable going on a Destiny stream or going on a stream with that bigger of an audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically what I'm saying is I'm going to go off by my comfortability. If I don't feel comfortable doing that situation, I'm not going to do it. You see what do you understand what I'm saying? Like, am I saying it right? Am I sounding dumb right now? I'm sure the other stream is saying I sound dumb, but I don't care. They went multiple times, so they could have learned from their own experiences. Agreed. Okay, so I am making sense. Yeah, I'm gonna do it based off of what I'm comfortable with. And sometimes the thought of the clout clouds people's minds. You know what I'm saying? And that's a young thing. And yes, Destiny did make Mr. Girl, and I do hold that against Destiny. I do. Because I'm going to tell you now, the VOD that Destiny has out that we're going to go over tomorrow, in the first 9 minutes of his video is shit that I've been saying this whole damn time about him. The first 9 minutes, I mean, we can honestly just watch the first 9 minutes of that VOD, and I can just look at y'all and go, I told you so. I told you. But yeah, Destiny made Mr. Girl. He did. And unfortunately, now we have this clout goblin asshole running around now trying to cancel Destiny, which I think is kind of karmatic. Just saying. But yeah. I mean, now we have the monster that we have now. And it is on Destiny. We have to admit that. It is on Destiny. There's no other way to put that.
My argument isn't that they have to go on. They don't.
No, they don't have to
saying
go
that
on.
whether or not someone chooses to go on doesn't actually mean that the system itself is not abusive to those that do.
Sure. Okay.
How is it abusive? That's like saying, okay, so you know how every now and then we have streams where I'm just chilling and then everybody piles in from another stream or something like that? If an argument breaks out between two people, it's not my fault. Y'all just so happen to be on my channel when it happens. Although it tends to happen on my channel. I'm just saying. If y'all haven't noticed, that shit does tend to happen on my channel. But anyway, I digress. It's not my fault that happened. It's not like I'm putting guns to people's heads going, yo, talk about this, get in this argument. No. And guess what? I normally don't get in the middle of the argument. I'm not going to sit there and dogpile on one person. I don't believe in dog piles. You know?
So you're saying that they're, the abuse is happening. It's people are saying in
What
chat, like Hollywood, right?
abuse?
Like, the system's there. You don't have to participate. But if you do, even though you're benefiting, you can still call out what you see as the issues within it.
Right. Yeah, and I just think it's very arrogant to say that that there's not a way to do it better or more ethically. Like, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Honey, it's called streaming. It's called streaming and having people on your platform. And guess what? Those people on your platform are not going to always agree with each other. Guess what? Guess where else that happens? That happens in the real world too. Not everybody is going to agree with each other. Friends actually argue. Partners actually argue. Strangers actually argue. Do you think just because it's on a fucking live stream that it's not going to happen? What? That's stupid.
Just because you don't have the vision
Dumb.
or ingenuity or creativity to think of a way that would be more supportive of people, or just because you don't want to because you're fine where you're at, doesn't mean there's not a way that would be better for the people around you or for you. Like, it's just arrogant. It's fucking annoying.
Don't you think you're falling into an issue, though, which is where someone else has built a platform up to a certain point, and then you're coming along and you're trying to dictate how this platform should and shouldn't be run based on your own personal views on what it looks like?
Good question, Chud.
Well, I agree that that's happening, but why is that a problem?
Well, I
What
guess
is the problem with it? I guess.
Well, the thing is like I'm definitely, I'm revealing a bit more than I should here, I guess, but I'm sympathetic towards the issue.
Plant says, honestly, I gotta give it to Destiny for allowing so many different voices and points of view on his channel, regardless of his own opinions. I agree, because it creates conversation. I actually agree with that, Plants, 100%.
But I just know personally, I would be very frustrated if someone came to me and started telling me how I should and shouldn't do my platform.
Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. I'm not gonna have somebody tell me what to do on my platform. Y'all know how I am. I agree with Chud on that. Except for he's saying it a hell of a lot nicer than I would. Y'all know I'm not gonna have somebody tell me how I do my stream. I've kicked people out of chats. Like, as in, like, we're on a Discord call. I've kicked people out of Discord calls because they tried to tell me what to do on my stream. Destiny is super tall also. Floptina, why are you trying to lie about Destiny in here? You know that Destiny is a short king, okay? Destiny is a short king. Let's not lie, Floptina.
Because, I've built up what I have using my own perception on how I should do things. And it seems to be going pretty well so far. People have complained about elements of my Discord, and often I'm disregarding of that because, that's how I want it to be.
Ashers, I love my short kings, though. We know you do.
So,
Well, I think that's dumb, but what I think about this is maybe you should be more like me, Chud. I feel like if someone...
No, Chud. Do not be more like her. Absolutely not. Do not, Chud.
Here's the thing. Part of the reason why Max can tell me something like, you are being so misogynistic towards yourself that you're willing to inject drugs into your body to change it. The reason why I am open to hearing something like that is that I am not so fucking arrogant as to think that I know everything all the time about myself and what's right. And so when you take an information, it's possible that you might think something new or think, hey, maybe they're right, and maybe there is a better approach to this. I didn't realize that this was a possibility.
Too bad your boyfriend can't do that.
And I think that this is what I find so enraging, is that, like, yes, you can have your own principles. If you really think that the best way to run your platform and your business and whatever is this way, then fine. Obviously, he's his own person. He can make choices. I'm never going to fucking go on the stream for this reason if it stays the same. But I'm not saying he doesn't have autonomy. What I'm saying is that if you care about the well-being of other people, and other people are essential to your business, absolutely, I think it is in your best interest to consider whether or not the system you've built is exploitative or abusive to others. And even if what someone says maybe doesn't have merit, I think it is worth considering and deciding, if it's something that matters to you.
Toots McGee for $5. Criticizing people for being arrogant. You should be like me. True. $5. Thank you. I care for people. I don't want to see people hurt. But if two mofos want to get into my Discord on my live stream and argue with each other, that's on them. That's nothing to do with me. As long as it doesn't go too far and,
I think
not
Xylie
too many
looked at
slurs
chat
and,
on that one.
shit like that. Like something like evil, like not evil, but you know what I mean? Like bad. I mean, I don't want nobody to get hurt, but people disagree. People are not going to have the same thought processes or even the same thoughts or the same beliefs. What? You know what? I bet you she got angry when Abba went off on Mr. Girl. I bet you she got angry because Abba went the fuck off on Mr. Girl. And it was a glorious, glorious moment.
I feel like, as irritating as large corporations may be, sometimes with pressure from the public, they will change. But, like, people's pride is sometimes not something that they're as malleable about as their bank accounts if it's affecting them. So I don't know. I'm pretty shocked by the reactions of the orbiters to...
God forbid someone makes content and people join their content and it turns into content. God forbid. Honey, these aren't just people playing a video game, just a group of people in like an Xbox Live chat or Discord playing a game together. These are content creators. Guess what that means? What's the first thing in content creators? Content.
To defend this action that's being taken against them constantly. I don't know why they want to be put in this fucking hot and cold mess with
People
his
love
community. I mean, I get financially, I get they think that it's going to grow their platform, but I just think it's bad. I think it's bad for them emotionally, and I think it's incredibly arrogant to think that there's no way to do this better, to be more supportive of more ideas. Like, I feel like Destiny has set forth a set of values that he claims that he holds, and then is not actually taking actions that are in alignment with them, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's shitty.
Okay. I guess this leads on to a question. So let's say that Destiny wanted to get you on his stream. What changes would he need to make in order for that to happen?
Well, first off, I think he would have to take more ownership of the actions that are being taken by his mods. I feel like he is a bit wishy-washy about this, where he'll say,
he's talking about DGG.
mods,
All right. Or she's
I
talking
trust
about
my
DGG.
mods. I trust them to make their own choices, blah, blah, blah. But also, when they act in ways that are problematic, you, as the head honcho, have to take ownership of that as a lack of guidance or perhaps specific guidance that they can do this. So I think, first of all, he would need to take some ownership. Secondly,
Yeah, Katie, I agree with you. Destiny's been streaming for so long. She doesn't know what he's she acts like he doesn't know what he's doing. Destiny was He was the original. You know what I mean? Wait, Xylie certainly doesn't what? Wait, weird collar guy, are you talking shit about me? Are you talking shit about me, weird collar guy? What's going on? Destiny was like the original. He was basically the first one to go full time just by talking. I trust my mods. What? Weird collar guy, stop trying to get my mods to turn against me. Damn green people, I swear to God. Green and blue people in my chat are always trying to start shit with me. Anyway, he was the original. She acts like he just started this. You know? Yeah, it wasn't Destiny like one of the first debate bros. Oh, well, he dated like a bro before. Yes! Yes! He was! And she acts like he don't know what the fuck he's doing. Ma'am!
Yeah, I think that he would have to put forth a set of like guidelines
I agree,
as far
Miss
as how he is going
Grandia.
to allow orbiters to engage with these conversations. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, Moody.
I don't know that much about Reddit moderation, and I don't follow the subs that closely, but my sense is that there's a lot of like shit talking, a lot of like ironic statements or whatever.
Girl, it's Reddit. Have you seen Reddit before? Have you been on Reddit? Reddit's like a fucking cesspool. I'm just saying. I just did a damn live stream about a Reddit. About a subreddit called r/Trishyland. That place was a cesspool. Reddit is not for the weak. Like, Twitter's bad, but Reddit is on a whole different level. I swear she aware that this is some BS. There's no way. I mean, Reddit is not for the weak. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Reddit is not for the weak. Just saying.
Which I think people like to do, and I think it's stupid. I'm not saying people.
So you're not a
shouldn't be
fan
able
of
to
the
do
age of
that.
the Giga Chad? You do not like the age of the Giga Chad? Can I just get that on
No,
record?
it's bullshit, Chud. It's bullshit, and you know what? You're bullshit because you fucking pointed out this concept, and you fucking do it every day. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Wait, just because I deserve something doesn't mean I think it's always bad. I think it's funny. I think it's a good meme. I think it's when you used to obfuscate people's true beliefs. And if you're too retarded to figure out when someone's being ironic or not, well, that's on you, isn't it?
Oh no, let's go back. Hold on.
I think it's stupid. I'm not saying people.
So you're not a
shouldn't be
fan
able
of
to
the
do
age of
that.
the Giga Chad? You do not like the age of the Giga Chad? Can I just get that on
No,
record?
it's bullshit, Chud. It's bullshit, and you know what? You're bullshit because you fucking pointed out this concept, and you fucking do it every day. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Wait, just because I deserve something doesn't mean I think it's always bad. I think it's funny. I think it's a good meme. I think it's when you used to obfuscate people's true beliefs. And if you're too retarded to figure out when someone's being ironic or not, well, that's on you, isn't it?
No, I can understand it. I just think it's really fucking irritating.
Okay.
It makes it hard, like, because this is why I'm so irritated by it. Is that you?
Well, Chud told her.
Part of the reason why I was like, I will do this interview with Chud is that I get the sense of like your personhood, and then your fucking Giga Chad Mimi blah blah is like makes it hard because I get when you're doing it, but it just makes you feel less genuine.
Ma'am, your boyfriend runs around like he's a fucking pedophile, talking about 12-year-olds' panties, talking about how 11 and 12-year-old girls were hot, talking about how it should be okay that I am sexually turned on by a 16-year-old, and you want to get on Chud Logic for that? He runs around saying he's a feminist, in which in fact he hates women. He's abusive, but yet you want to get on Chud Logic for that, and that's irritating? Ma'am, what? 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 She's getting on him about that shit when her man runs around acting like a whole ass fool. Lord have mercy.
And I'm like, well, I would like to connect with Chud, But like, how can I do that if I'm like being vulnerable to you and then you suddenly just flip into like a meme? It's shitty. I don't know. I mean,
I've kept it to a minimum. I've been on my best behavior. I was like,
no, I'm not saying you're doing it now. I'm saying it's
But
irritating to watch you do it
Sure,
and then be
okay.
like, how am I supposed to put forth my vulnerability towards this topic when your reputation is that you're gonna fucking giga chat out?
Okay.
I don't know.
Toots McGee for 2. Didn't she just brag about self-awareness too?
I think Xylie looked at chat on that one.
We're just going to keep continuing.
I'm just bringing it up.
That's okay. I understand where you're coming from. I do. And you find it's difficult sometimes because you're seeking maybe a genuine thing, but then the Giga Chad stuff or people's irony posting makes it difficult to get through that.
I agree with you, Plants. I think he's done this very well.
Well, yeah, how can you have a genuine conversation about anything, whether you're talking about politics or social issues or whatever the fuck, your feelings? I know some people don't value conversation about feelings. That's fine. But even if you're trying to talk about ideas,
I don't think
it just gets in the way.
I don't think there's any problem with having, I think the conversation about feelings, Pumpkin, I feel like if you do what I think you're about to do, me and you are going to fight. Ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Didn't I say we were going to fight? Didn't I say we were going to fight? We're going to fight. Come on. Okay, anyway. Feelings. Nothing wrong with talking about feelings, but I think there's a time and a place about talking about feelings. If you're talking about facts and like you're doing a fact, like finding type thing, okay, facts above feelings. You know? Fuck your feelings. It's about facts.
I think Xylie looked at chat.
But there's nothing wrong with having a stream about your feelings either. Justice and paper babies for Pumpkin. No, she getting on my nerves. All right? No justice for Pumpkin. All right, let's go.
There's like, obviously I have a sense of humor. I'm dating Max. He has all these like jokes or whatever, but I feel like there's a certain percentage threshold or something that people sometimes reach where I will get irritated by it. And you're right on the cusp, I must say.
I'm nearly on the naughty list. Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
That's right, I told you. I started penning your name. We're not quite done yet with it. Anyway, back to Destiny. I'm sorry, I derailed us.
It's okay. Derailments are fine. It was interesting. So Destiny, I got one quick question actually in regards to Destiny. I feel like we didn't maybe get to the full point of like what would change, but to be honest with you, I want to get to questions too. So I'll skip to something else because I think this is interesting. So you seem to have a very negative perception of Destiny, but it seems like you're disregarding what Destiny did in the first place to launch Max's career. Do you not factor that into your analysis when it comes to talking about Destiny?
No. I think that this is part of the problem that I see with him, is that I believe it is hypocrisy. I think he is presenting himself as one thing and then doing something that contradicts it. And
wait, what?
I think that if Destiny is going to do it, then great. I don't agree with the way he's approaching it, because I don't actually even think it aligns with his own values, which is infuriating because he insists that he is like the most ethical streamer and like the most blah blah blah. Like, no, he's got a huge platform. I'll give him that. But like, no, I don't agree that he is the most ethical and is doing like the best possible job.
Somebody please explain to me what the fuck she just said. She's very annoying. This is... Anyone who puts Destiny up on a pedestal like he is the greatest thing, as in he is like the perfect person, and like anybody who can't see his flaws is blind. Everybody has their flaws. Everybody, I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody has flaws. My flaw, I talk loud. That is my flaw. Okay? My flaw, I get irritated because I'm old and over people's shit. Okay? Destiny doesn't act like he doesn't have flaws. He knows he's arrogant. Everybody knows Destiny's arrogant. Oh, I think she's definitely playing a game. I agree. It's just, oh my God.
And even if he's doing a good job, there's room for improvement. I don't understand. It's just so arrogant. I mean, I know I said that already, but Jesus Christ.
But what's arrogant,
I think what he did for Max would be great if it wasn't paired with, sometimes I'm going to do underhanded things to make my huge wave of an audience hate you.
What did he do? What did he do that was underhanded? Just because Destiny liked Max, it doesn't mean that his audience is going to like Max. He can't force his audience to like him. Yes, the audience already hated Mr. Girl. You can't force your audience to like someone. You know how many times I've gotten shit because Keemstar showed up on my stream? I don't expect people to like every single person who pops up on my stream. You know what I'm saying? Top tomato, we will not be controlled. I mean, true. True. You know, I don't expect everybody to like every single person I put up here or that comes in, you know, that comes in when I'm doing a chill stream where people are coming up and we're talking and shit. I don't expect everybody to like everybody I put up here. But it still boils down to it. It's still my stream. I can put up here anybody I want to. This is my damn channel. You know? Yeah, Rennie, that's why there's a variety of... that's one thing I will say about my audience. My audience, compared to a lot of other people, I actually have a wide variety of an audience. I really do. I have everybody from really deep pearl clutchers to, you know, commentary bros. Edgy commentary bros. I have everybody. I got people from anti-communities. I got people from the beauty community. I got people from commentary community. I got everybody in my chats. But I like it though, because it makes things interesting, and it's funny to see how people's different outlooks on a particular situation. Yeah, you found me through Tipster. Some people found me through anti-KJ people. Some people found me through like Beauty
Xylie
Demon or something.
Looked at chat.
Yeah, where and like Tea Time, beauty drama community. You know, I people have found me through all over the place. She has mastered empty speech. Weird color guy. Thank you for the 199. You know. Plants. I'm the pearl clutcher. How dare? I'm aghast. Yeah, Bonnie found me through T-drama stuff. Yeah, I actually have a very eclectic audience, and I absolutely love it. See, YouTube made great again. Found me through Sun and Crow. I mean, believe me, people have picked me up from everywhere. And that's cool. I like it. I don't want my audience to be from one place and one mind. No, fuck that. You know what? Let the pearl clutchers come in with the edgy boys and see how they collide. I love it. I love it.
And do other...
Well, welcome, Spiral. Welcome to hell. AKA Xylie Gets Real. Yeah, and Stan found me through Peanut. I love me Peanut. I love me some Peanut.
Small string-pulling things within the subreddit where we talk about these ideas to make it worse. So no.
Okay.
I agree with what I think is his, like, goal. Or, I don't know if approach is right, because that implies action. His, like, mission statement, if you will.
Sure. I mean, you know, I've watched Destiny for a long time. I know there's a meme of the white blood cell, and, you know, I was happy to criticize Destiny if I think there's something I see that's wrong, or say I agree with Destiny or whatever. I guess my issue with this, I don't want to seem like I'm coming down super hard on either side. I'm trying to mainly just be challenged in the course of this interview. But one thing I just want to point from a personal point of view is I don't really know if he presents himself as like the most ethical streamer.
No, he doesn't.
I think his whole thing is he is interested in numero uno, but it just so happens that a lot of things he believes will enhance the experience for himself in his own life. So some of the things he argues for, he sees a benefit to himself, and that's why he argues for it. Does that make sense? I don't know if he's trying to present himself as the most ethical or most altruistic streamer or something like that.
I don't think he does. I don't think Destiny does make it. I don't think Destiny actually says that he's the most ethical streamer. That makes no damn sense.
My perception is that it's more so, he's out for himself.
I think he is, and I think he would admit that aspect, that he cares about what's going to benefit him. But I believe that in the conversations with Max, that he's also putting forth a defense of himself in which he describes the success of his platform as a justification for the way it is run. So essentially, because it is one of the largest platforms, because it is a successful stream and Reddit community, that means that he's doing a good job of running it. Sort of hinting at the idea that it's clearly working, so essentially, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so I just think that, like...
But at the same time, Destiny has also says that he understands, because of Nick Fuentes, like, the America First bros are in there, and he's trying to get them out, and he's talked about how he needs to... He's honing in on his community and getting rid of the bad seeds or whatever. He's literally has said that on his fucking channel. I have heard him say that. So that means he is actually actively working to make it better. You know what I'm saying?
Like, that's not the correct standard by which we judge what is...
You can tell she's not a streamer. She's not a streamer. She's not a content creator in this way. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that. Because a lot of things that she's describing, her boyfriend does.
Moral or good for the community. If he actually thinks that the only thing he should care about is himself and not his community and the people that he engages with, then he's a fucking selfish prick. Like, fine, if that's your position, then okay. But I think it's more complicated than that. I think there are a lot of subtle implications he's making about how the success of his platform supports the way he runs it, and I just don't agree with that.
Okay.
Weird collar guy for $1.99. She's also confusing ethics and morals. Agreed.
So in any case, it sounds like... I mean, listen, okay. Obviously, Destiny is going to react to this. He was going to react whether I asked you about that anyway, but I think it's important to ask because obviously you've got your perspective on it. How do you feel about the fact that Destiny will react to this and then his community is likely going to talk about this at length too? How do you feel about that?
I think Xylie looked at chat.
I mean, they already fucking think I'm a brainwashed, stupid, pathetic woman. Like, I don't, you know what? Like, it is kind of intimidating.
I don't think she is a stupid, pathetic woman, and I think people who look at her in that way is wrong. I do believe this. Now, I'm not saying I fully know the reason, and I'm not going to. I can only guess the reason why. But I believe this whole interview, there was a purpose. And I believe that purpose is to be the human meat shield for her boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she's pathetic. She's not stupid. She's very talented. But I know some people are going to have that opinion of her. I honestly look at her like she's a victim. Honestly. You know. But I think, she's running defense for her boyfriend. So. Abuse and manipulated doesn't make you a stupid or pathetic. Correct. See, that's why I don't know what angle it is with her, because I'm not her. I'm not in her head. So, But this was a tactic. This whole thing right here was a tactic.
Knowing that hundreds of thousands of people will see this and will probably think I'm either just siding with Max because I'm dating him or whatever, or just think I'm stupid. Maybe if Lav is correct in this point, you know, maybe they'll just hate me because I'm a woman. Who knows what they'll say?
Stop it. Stop. Okay, listen. Y'all know I will call out some misogynistic shit. Y'all know I will. But I nothing irritates me more when everything is because you're a woman. Nothing irritates me more when everything is because it's sexist. I hate that because that literally waters down the real misogyny out there. It waters it down. Okay, YouTube, that's actually a really good question. Devil's advocate. At what point are you not responsible for your actions? Just because you are abused doesn't mean you aren't responsible for yourself. 100%. The shit that I had to do, and I did, when I was in my abusive relationship, some of it I still feel guilty over. Okay? It was still on me that I did those things. All right? It is still my fault that I did those things. I take responsibility for what I did. But the mindset at the time when I did them, I did it for survival. You know what I'm saying? Like those things I never would have done before that relationship, and I haven't done after that relationship. But I did it for survival. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you do need to take personal responsibility. I do agree with that, but it's about the mindset at the time. That's what it really boils down to. It's about the mindset at the time. Like, I wasn't my own person. I was not me. That whole time, I was not me. I was a shell of a human being. I was not my own person. But I had to do that to survive, you know? But I still take responsibility for what I did. 100%. You know what I mean? I get that, but my problem is that people are giving her the excuse before she makes that decision herself. Here's my thing. This is what I think could possibly happen. Now, I'm saying could possibly because we don't know if it's going to happen or not. If she ever leaves him, there might be one hell of a story that comes out of it from her. Honestly. There might end up being one hell of a story that comes from her if they ever break up. And then you'll look back at what I was saying and then you'll understand. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations that you don't understand unless you're in it. And I know that sounds like a cop-out, but I swear to God it's not. Yeah, people are complicated. Absolutely. 100% top tomato. People are just fucking complicated. 100%. 100%. But you never know. One day, they may break up. And she might come out with one hell of a story and people are going to go, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Katie, exactly. These types of relationships are complicated, but people want them to be more simple, and they just aren't. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you. I get you, YouTube. I get you. Yeah. I mean, it definitely creates a conversation about how people act. But again, we don't know what's in her head. We don't know where she's at. We don't know. She may, like I said, it could be in a spectrum where she likes what's going on. She's happy with what's going on. Or she completely hates it and she's doing what she feels like she has to. And it could be somewhere in the middle. We don't know. The only thing we can do is speculate on that part. But I will say, she sounded like Mr. Girl took over her body and was talking. Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just worried that people are giving her way too much credit, that she can be abused and be an asshole too. Absolutely. No, she can. She absolutely can. Yes. Yes. No, Toots, they would listen to her. I bet you they would listen to her.
But I don't rely on his community, and I think that it's important
Exactly,
as an
Teddy.
outsider to say that I think it's wrong, and I have been pretty uncomfortable with Max streaming for a while because I can see the like toll it can take on someone to feel this like emotional pressure that's very kind of insidious and subtle in these communities. And so yeah, as I said early on, I don't blame Destiny for the structure of streaming being kind of problematic, but I think that he doesn't take his role seriously enough. And I don't know what his problem is with taking some responsibility, but
I can tell you now, I could never be in that community because they take shit way too serious. I couldn't do it. I could not do it, and I wouldn't do it. I mean, I can go over there and dip my toe in, but I would never, like, fully go over there because that community, they are way too fucking serious about shit. I hate it.
like, with great power comes great responsibility, bro. Like, fucking Spider-Man 101, bitch. I don't understand why he just, like, can't fucking connect to it. It's so irritating.
Okay. What about the perspective that one as a content creator can disregard the worst of what is being said about you? For example, you could ignore the subreddit, not posting it, and just disregard the things that are being said about you there.
It's not just about the content creator ignoring the subreddit. My sense is that there's the personal attack part that can be emotionally traumatic, but also the community itself is in some ways like a currency for streamers. So it's not just that he is shaping this narrative or even possibly saying vicious things himself or even subtly dismissive things. It's also that he is largely in control of the currency that feeds all of his orbiters' careers. And I feel like Max described this as like he's their boss or whatever. It's because of the way that streaming is set up. It's obviously not that clear cut, but he is the largest director, I guess you could say, of this currency and how it is spent, I think.
See, I don't like that. And like, I understand Destiny made Mr. Girl, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm older and I just don't. I'm not going to look at another streamer with another platform and think they're my boss unless I get paid by them. You know what I'm saying? Like how Kristen Ark now works for Keemstar. Okay, Keemstar is literally his boss. I can understand that. But I'm not going to sit here and say Keemstar is my boss, Tommy C is my boss, Nick Diori, none of them. Nobody's my boss. I am my own boss. You know, I just... That feels weird. That sounds too parasocial for me. No. That's way too parasocial for me. Like, I get if he feels some kind of, like, okay, Destiny, you're the reason why I blew up like I did, so I want to give you respect. I get that. I do get that. Okay? But I'm not going to sit there and say that person is my boss. You know? Yeah, they made Destiny their boss. This is my channel. I'm the boss over here. No matter what my mods say, I'm the boss. And then I have a cat who thinks she's the boss. Which she's behaving right now, actually. You know?
Because the audience is attached to his perspective. And so I don't think it's
That's just
that
too
you can
parasocial
look
for
away
me.
because your career is tied into what this community thinks of you if you're an orbiter. And even if you're not, like, the idea that hundreds of thousands of people are going to shit talk you in his subreddit is, I think, emotionally damaging just to know that it's happening, even if you don't read it.
You know, and then here's another thing I don't like either. I don't like the word orbiter. Because to me, like, I understand the meaning of the word orbiter, but it just sounds so demeaning to me. You know what I mean? The word orbiter just sounds very demeaning to me. One reason Steven is so regarded is he has very analytical mind and tends not to go off emotion, but it becomes a drawback in situations like this. Yeah. Yeah. He does he does have a fuck your feelings, facts only type of thing. Yeah, but the word orbiter just sounds very demeaning. I don't know how I would feel if somebody calling me an orbiter. I don't know how I would feel about that. Because then I would have to prove a point and cut myself off from that person. And show, orbiter what? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't like that word. It's very demeaning to me. I wouldn't call myself an orbiter. I just chill with people. Yeah, ugh.
So no. That's dumb.
Okay, right. Here's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to... I want you to do something for me right now. I want you...
We'll see.
Yeah, Top Tomato. That sounds like you're calling someone your minion. I agree. Yeah, spiral. Orbiter equals dependent. Yeah, I don't like that word.
Destiny's going to watch this, and I want you to give an uninterrupted message to Destiny. Speak to him, because it seems like you're not going to speak to him one-on-one. What is your message to Destiny? Go.
I don't know if I want to answer this.
Girl, you were just talking all that shit. You mean to tell me you don't have a message for him at this point? Ma'am, what?
To Destiny. Destiny's going to watch this, and I want you to give an uninterrupted message to Destiny. Speak to him, because it seems like you're not going to speak to him one-on-one. What is your message to Destiny? Go.
I don't know if I want to answer this.
You just got finished talking all that shit and you don't have a message?
I'm not going to answer that, Chud.
Okay.
You can't twist your interview into me talking to Destiny instead.
She just got finished talking all that shit about Destiny and how he runs his community. And she couldn't leave a message for him? But she just got finished talking all that shit. But she didn't have a message for him? Not even a fuck you? I mean, you could have very easily stuck your middle finger up and say, fuck you, Destiny. I mean, that short and sweet. You could have just done short and sweet. After all that shit you just talked about Destiny, you could have very well just said, fuck you, Destiny. Short and sweet, done and over with. Lord have mercy.
Listen, I just thought it might be an interesting moment, okay? But the fact you don't want to do it is fair enough, and I completely respect that, okay? Please make a note on the record
shit.
that we, well, I say we.
Chud respects women's boundaries.
Yes, exactly. I respect your boundaries, and you are not wishing to give a message to Destiny. We will respect that. Now, here's what's going to happen now. We're going to
I'm not even
move
gonna
into
say none of that.
the question section from the audience. Now, how it's going to work is there's quite a few people watching, and I want to make some money off of this, okay? And also,
yep.
I don't want just random questions from shitters in chat. I want it to be a barrier of entry so people actually think about what they're asking. It's not much. All you need to do is attach your question to either a subscription Alternatively, you can send 100 bits or $1 dono,
I
and
think
that is
this is the
sufficient.
end
And I
of
will
it, 'cause
ask
I
the
don't think they
question.
go into
Okay,
the
there's plenty of time.
questions.
I'll give a cut off so you don't end up asking a question I can't ask. Okay. Obviously, you get refusal rights if you really don't want to answer a question. If someone asks you something that's really horrendous, you don't have to answer it. You full refusal
I
rights.
like
Okay?
Chud
No
Logic.
refunds, no money back. Now, whilst we're getting people coming through, I just want to ask something important. Do you have any opinion that differs substantively from what Mr. Girl's opinion is?
Oh.
On any topic?
Yes.
Differs. What's substantively really?
Girl. Come on now.
No, I guess I have some of my own.
You
like,
guess?
thoughts about.
That he gets everything
my
that
God.
he wants.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm going back. Okay, hold on. I got back to the right spot. Okay, hold on.
Really. No, I guess I have some of my own.
I can tell you right now, if you can ask me the question of what do you and your husband disagree on, I can spew them out so quick. Yeah, it was my fault. I can't blame Pumpkin for that one. It was my fault. But I can spew them out so quick, especially after being with somebody for years. I can spew it out. Matter of fact, technically, I think she's been with him longer than I've been with my husband.
Like, thoughts about gender that he hasn't like talked about or anything like that. I would say one of them is that I believe the I guess prevalence or emphasis on the trans experience is normalizing plastic surgery for women, which really negatively affects women. And I find that incredibly disturbing. Surgery.
Wait, what?
The trans experience is normalizing plastic surgery for women.
I'm not getting into it. You know what? We're gonna let this one slide. I'm tired. We've been live for 3.5 hours. We're gonna just walk past this one like it didn't fucking happen. Dude. Yes, Lord have mercy. That's the only thing that's coming to my mind right now. Like, how though? How? Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God.
Which really negatively affects women.
How?
And I find that incredibly disturbing. And also, as I was saying in your chat the other day, the idea of that I believe that trans individuals connect their identity to being more real than their physical bodies, because obviously their body doesn't line up with their identity, at least initially. And because of this, I think that this is why this concept of transgenocide is a bit, well, I personally think it's questionable, but the reason why I think you can make the leap is because an attack on the identity is more real than an attack on their physical bodies. So there's a dissonance between how we normally would define genocide with other people or beings or whatever, as being connected to, I think, their physical bodies, whereas the trans experience requires that you prioritize the identity over their physical bodies. I don't agree with this. personally, but I feel like that is both an argument for and against this concept in different ways.
Okay, wait. She just said she don't agree with that.
Agree with this and as being connected to, I think, their physical bodies, whereas the trans experience requires that you prioritize the identity over their physical bodies. I don't agree with this personally, but I feel like that is both an argument for and against this concept in different ways. But I don't know. Those are some of my thoughts.
Okay. I mean, do you think that Mr. Girl would like significantly disagree with what you just said?
No, but we're pretty aligned, I think, like politically.
Okay.
But those are just some of my very own ideas that he has not talked about.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I did ask if there's anything you substantively disagreed on, and you
She
told me something
confused
that
me
you
with the
agreed
last
with.
one.
No.
Okay.
No, I think we agree on a lot of stuff.
Okay. That's fine. I'll move on to the questions. So, let's get to the meat from McFiston. Let's get to the meat. Do you...
Bro. Okay, I have to admit that last part, she confused me. So I don't know if she was saying he believed that or she believed that, or she kind of word salad it. So I don't know. I'm confused. Yeah. I'm not touching it because I don't know what her stance was. Look, I'll tell you my stance, okay? Trans women are women, trans men are men. I love them. Period, point blank, period. Love them. All right, there we go. There's my stance on it. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Wait, I don't even know if... Wait, is what's his name still in here? Nixon, are you still in here? Nixon. Hello, Nixon. I guess Nixon's not in here anymore. All right, chair stream for a second. I gotta go run to the restroom real quick. I've been holding it for like 45 minutes. And I'll be right back, all right? Hopefully Pumpkin won't get in the camera. All right, be right back. Lord have mercy. Shit on a shingle. Why are you yelling? Are you a fucking horse now? What are you doing? Oh, my baby's sleeping. Okay. Now that I'm back, Pumpkin said a bad word. Pumpkin. Hey. Psst. Listen, Pumpkin didn't say no bad word because she is past the fuck. She's literally snoring like a grown-ass man right now. Pumpkin just called me a gay, so I doubt that. She would never. We don't teach that in this house. We don't, That shit don't happen in this house, okay? All right, so, any thoughts, opinions about what we just saw? Elliot, you are correct. Jesus Christ, that interview was a shit show. That interview was crazy. Yeah, my mind kind of hurts too. Tomato. I just think it's funny. She talked all that shit about Destiny, but she didn't have any, like, message for him. She was able to talk all that shit, but she didn't have a message for him. Like, what kind of shit is that? Leah, if you want to get plastic surgery, you have the choice. Damn right, because it's your body. I don't give a fuck what you want to do with your body. The hell? Hell yeah, it's your right to do that. Especially if you're a champ. 100%, Leah. 100%. And that shit that it's harming women, what? No. 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 I'm not playing that bullshit. Yeah, I agree, Ashers. At least have the balls to say fuck you or something. I mean, she could have very well just stuck her middle finger up and say, okay, Destiny, fuck you. I mean, she talked all that shit, but she didn't have a message for Destiny? What? I will say there were a lot of points in that interview. Let me pull my microphone closer. There was a lot of points in that interview where it literally sounded like her body was taken over by Mr. Girl. Literally. Gender fluid, you don't know what Mr. Girl looks like? That's Mr. Oh. Okay, hold on. That's Mr. Girl right there. That disheveled person. I'm trying to stay classy, okay? That's what Mr. Girl looks like. Let me pull that back over here. Okay, I don't know what Jessica Pizzle just added me on. I'm kind of scared. I'll see it in a second. He looks like someone who plots running people over. Oh my god. Well, I guess that's about it. Tomorrow at some point, I don't know what time, most likely 8 o'clock. I don't know, it depends, because me and my husband were supposed to be doing the fire pit tomorrow, but hopefully he decides not to do that, because I don't feel like doing it. But okay, this is way too high. Why is this so high? Okay, there we go. Sometime tomorrow, though, I want to go over this video here. Hold on, I'll show you the video. Watch later. It's got to be in my watch later because I haven't finished it yet. Yes, it is. Okay.
Or is what is
Now that I trust you, like, oh my
God, come on.
That he gets everything that.
like, you know, they're just not smart enough.
Okay. Sometime tomorrow, I want to go over this video here. Talking about the allegations. And it's called Destiny Addresses Lab's Allegations and Exposes Mr. Girl. I want to go over this stream, which is 3 hours long, but I'm only doing points in it. Okay, so I'm going to have to actually get the timestamps because I'm not sitting here with y'all for 6 hours. All right, the last one was a 2-hour stream, and here I am going on 4 hours. So, because I actually stop and commentate and sometimes go on long ass sayings. So, I want to go over that tomorrow, and then I want to go over on another day. Oh God, if it's here. Is it here? Yes. I want to go over Mr. Girl's statement on Destiny. Now, we probably won't do that on Sunday because Sunday I have my smack talk with Floptina. And Floptina and I like to just, I don't know, kind of bullshit. It's fun. Floptina always comes out with these conspiracy theories and it's crazy. So that's what we will be doing sometime in the next 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. I don't know yet. I've done 7 streams in 6 days. I'm getting kind of tired. I need a day off, but I can't have a day off yet. I'm taking a day off next week for sure. Oh, and I dropped a video. Just to let y'all know. Self-promotion. I dropped. This came from the live stream that I put members only. And there's my thumbnail. Chris quits the Keemstar show. So I clipped that. It's about an hour long. My editor clipped it for me. And it is now up for viewing. So there's that on that. So, you know what? I'm tired. Y'all have a great night. And remember, okay? 1, don't be an orbiter. Just be yourself. 2, don't let anybody think they can tell you what to do with your body, your choices, and your voice. All right? Always, no matter what. Or I'm going to have to do my 300 speech again to y'all. Okay? Always keep that shit real. Bye, y'all.
Like me, open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss, oh, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker